What's going on? I'm Nando.
And I'm Diggins.
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woo! This week, DJ is the ape instead of Diggins. Classic twist.
Yeah, we flipped it upside down.
Yep, much like the Hollow Earth, gravity flips upside down sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
And like space, sometimes the gravity, and like sometimes you go through a gravity well or gravity storm, or is that what it is?
It's like an electromagnetic storm,
That's
think they
what
called
it is. Yeah, that's true. Very, very exciting. We're going to talk about that movie. Planet of the Apes 2001. Is that when this one was?
A Space Odyssey.
It was a space odyssey. Well, yeah, or maybe it wasn't.
Never forget.
Yeah, yep, that too. A lot of stuff, 2001. But before that, we got to talk about some other things. Well, one other thing that we'll never forget. The news of this week. They put out a trailer for Joker 2. Folie à deux.
Is that how you pronounce it?
I don't know. Maybe.
Folie à deux. Yeah, it's French.
Folie à deux. Okay, cool. Is it Joker 2 Folie à deux or is it Joker Folie à deux?
I think it's
just
Joker Folie à deux.
Folie à deux, yeah.
They should have went with Joker 2 Folie à deux.
They should have.
That's the naming convention.
But they're cowards.
They are cowards.
Look at what, man. We obviously, listeners, you didn't hear what we were talking about before we recorded, but we're on it today. We're all in syncopado. We're just this is gonna be a great podcast. I think not like all those other ones that are bad.
Yeah, this will be the first ever good podcast.
I'm excited, and not just a mostly nitpicking ever.
Yeah,
there's been
absolutely
no good podcasts until this one right here.
That one with Obama. Yeah, that one's very good.
That one.
Which one?
Right, the Bruce Springsteen Obama one. That one.
Oh no, I was thinking about. Didn't he go on like the Mark Maron show and say the N-word or something like that, and it was a whole thing.
Love it.
It was a big deal. He didn't say it in like a derogatory way. He used it as like an example. I don't remember the story, but
he was just calling Mark Maron his N-word, right?
Apparently, yeah. Mark Maron, by the way, still kicking. Very exciting. Who do you have
alive
on this week?
Still.
He is live. He had Alex Edelman, I think. I don't know. I like Mark Maron. Well, kind of. I don't know. Mark Maron's cool, right? Do we like Mark Maron?
I don't know where we are on Mark Maron. I've never listened to an episode of whatever his podcast is, so I don't know.
Close. That's close. It's called What the Fuck, WTF. Although maybe it's not. Maybe it doesn't stand for whatever the fuck or
That's
whatever.
That's true. Yeah.
Maybe it stands for something else.
It stands for washing my front yard.
Nope. It'd be washing the front.
Washing the front yard or thy front yard.
Washing thy front yard. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a good podcast. Sometimes. It's one of those podcasts that's an interview. So like sometimes it's a really interesting person and sometimes it's someone who's like kind of interesting, but like, it's like Hot Ones where you get a Conan and you're like, oh my God, incredible. Or you get an Ice Spice and it's like, she did do some music sometimes or whatever. Like it's a mixed bag. Speaking of music, sometimes the Joker movie's going to have music in it. Multiple dance and singing numbers. We see a couple in the trailer. Apparently they're going to be needle drops.
Yeah, it's a jukebox musical, we've heard.
Yep. Are you excited for that?
Nope.
I'm feeling good about my prediction.
Can you remind us, the listeners?
Yeah, what was it? I don't remember.
But the listeners might.
My prediction was that Joker Folie à deux would be Cats level insane.
I'm ready for it.
I don't know if it can be. I'm sure we said this during the thing, but having seen it now, I feel more confident about this. Can you be Cats level insane if you're trying to be Cats level insane?
I don't think it's trying to be.
I guess if you think you're very profound and saying something very interesting, can you, like Cats, I feel like doesn't do that. Maybe it does. I don't know.
I don't think the original stage show is trying to be profound. I mean, Hal, it's about cats, but I do think they were trying to evoke like a real emotion with that movie that it obviously fails utterly at.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something Joker 2 might also hit upon.
That'd be pretty cool. Was there anything in the trailer besides that, all that catsness that stood out for you?
I mean, other than that really subtle moment that shows you that everyone on the team working on this film is operating on another level.
Mm-hmm.
Just the true
You want to
masters of their craft.
try
the
to
best
describe that.
filmmakers.
Try to describe that to the people who haven't seen it yet.
Okay, so at the end of the trailer, there's a moment where Lady Gaga, playing Miss Harleen Quinzel, is talking to Arthur Fleck, our erstwhile Joker, through one of those prison things where you're like on the other side of a plastic thing.
When you gotta call your dad who's in prison, be like,
yeah,
hey,
when
Dad,
you call your dad who's in prison, there's that plastic barrier between
you pick up the phone, they pick up the phone.
Yeah, one of those.
Or Paddington. Sometimes Paddington's in prison.
That's true.
You have to talk to him and all his friends.
Anyway, she makes a smudge on the barrier with I don't know, her lipstick. It's not really
I think
clear
it's
what
lipstick,
it is.
yeah. I would hope so. Otherwise, I don't even know what it could be. What's red like that? Like a nice little strawberry or something? I don't know. Probably lipstick. Which is not that interesting because it goes over his lips. Like that's one option.
Hold on.
Sorry.
Spoil it.
Yeah.
So your average viewer might look at this and be like, I don't understand why she did that. But the eagle-eyed amongst you may notice that she then says, I want to see the real you. And Arthur gives a little big old smile. And he and the camera move in such a way that the lipstick goes over his face. So he got a big Joker smile. It's very subtle and not everyone will notice it. So I really applaud the filmmakers for that level of craft and detail.
I didn't notice, so I appreciate Diggins. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
That means a lot.
Maybe it's Play-Doh. Nah, that wouldn't spread the same way. That's like another thing.
It's the consistency isn't there, right?
It's rouge.
Yeah. What'd you say?
Rouge, a different kind of makeup thing.
There you go. That's different. At least that's not lipstick. So that would be better. Yeah. Speaking of rouge, we are very close to getting a Rouge the Bat casting probably in that Sonic movie. Do you think she would love the Joker because she is also evil?
She's more complicated than that, Nando.
Not like the Joker. Pure evil.
Yeah, that's right.
We also didn't get a shadow casting yet, speaking of people that are pure evil. But apparently he does have the motorcycle, so that's pretty good.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Does he have the human guns?
I don't know if he has the gun, but I can't assume. I have to assume he's got something like that.
Well, we at least have the small child who will be murdered by armed agents of the United States government.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
What's the other thing? Oh, wait, Joker thing. I forgot. So one thing I think is interesting about the trailer that I haven't really talked to anybody about, so I'm just curious. Like, what's the deal with Harley Quinn in this? Did she see the Joker movie and just decided to do all that stuff that he did alone? You know? Because she's just doing all that stuff again. But she doesn't know what his life was like. I mean, maybe he wrote a book, but she got all the angles right, too. Like, does she even exist? Maybe she doesn't exist. That's probably what it'll be. Never mind. But yeah, it's weird. It's a weird movie.
Nando, do you really think they'll do the person doesn't actually exist twist twice in a row?
Yes, I think they will. I think they'll do it 3 or 4 times.
Diggins, they say it in the first or the third Ocean's 11. It's like once you've done the trick, you do that trick every other time until you die, and you never stop doing the trick, and that's why they kill the power in the casino again. Famous Ocean's 13 scene.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And then they destroy the casino with an earthquake. Those movies went somewhere pretty weird. But yeah, you guys, speaking of movies that are pretty weird, speaking of movies with like natural disasters, I wouldn't say it's it's not a natural disaster, simulated natural disasters, I guess, much like in those movies where they pretend to do earthquake. Because I think that's how it works in Ocean's 13. They're pretending to do an earthquake, but then it creates an actual earthquake and destroys the hotel.
Yes.
But yeah, so speaking of that, let's talk about a movie with another famous actor who pretty much just looks like Matt Damon. Doing staging an earthquake or something. Planet of the Apes 2001.
2001.
That's how we say that.
Yeah, this was like like we were saying, it was a complicated year. I don't know when this movie came out in the year. Was it before or after September? July. Okay.
So
yeah, this is probably a big summer hit.
Good.
Or like
everyone saw this movie and they were like, everything's going to be great from here on out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is just a sign that 2001 will be the best year ever.
Yep. And this movie, man, I don't know. Somehow this movie seems to have like fallen out of existence. Just nobody talks about it anymore. But it's super weird.
It bombed when it came out and nobody has ever liked it.
Yeah, but like that's true of a lot of movies.
Why
isn't this where The Room or a movie like that was? Because like this movie is super weird, and it's full of stars and other people. Like
wow, get destroyed
and models doing their best.
My gosh,
it's got everything you could want.
I was gonna say, how dare you besmirch Estelle Warren like this?
Yeah, but yeah, it's just such a. I don't know. We'll talk about it. Who is in charge of the incredibly controversial IMDb B as a spelling bee game this week?
Why are you asking? Why on earth are you asking?
I have to ask so the fine listeners can go on this journey with us.
That's right.
You know.
It's me, Nando. It was me the whole time. Nobody knew, not even in my immediate family.
They really didn't know, but maybe they did. You know, how much did his immediate family know about what he was doing? Apparently not as much as you'd expect. I mean,
I think more than they've been saying.
I don't know. Can Shane even remember like his first name? You know, that guy took some crazy hits back in the day.
He flew or like fell like 30 feet off Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, like there was ever a wrestler where I'm like, his brain is, you know, mashed potatoes. It's him.
That's and then you would believe him. Like, who's the name of your dad? It's like, I don't have a father.
Yeah.
I just emerged one day from goo.
Mm-hmm.
But then it turns out goo is just what he calls Linda McMahon.
Oh, or
oh god,
or they could work that into his character or something. It could be like the Goo Boy or something.
Oh,
come out every day covered in goo.
Yeah,
like, pretend to be like Alex Mack. That would be like his thing everywhere. He would be in the ring and then he would disappear and leave a little, or like Slimer, I guess, and leave a little bit of goo and be like, "Ooh, he's been here."
DJ, with how wet most wet wrestlers are, I mean, how much worse would it really be to have one covered in goo?
Pretty wet.
Yeah, that's fair.
It would be hard to wrestle them. How would you pin him?
Yeah, he's so slippery.
Yeah,
slippery.
That's how they get pigs in the fair. It's like a whole thing, you know. You grease up the pig and then just let it go. They didn't try that with the guy, but they should have. It should have been Shane. What were we talking about?
The IMDb. B is in spelling
right.
bee.
Yeah.
How rigged it is against me. That's what we're talking about here, Nando.
That's right, because many of the questions we ask rely on remembering anything ever in your entire life.
Mm-hmm.
But new listeners might be wondering, what is the IMDb B as in spelling bee? Well, it's a delightful little game that we like to play on this podcast where my two esteemed co-hosts have to try to guess what the IMDb summary for this movie is. Now, where do those IMDb summaries come from? Well, I'll tell you. Every night at the Comedy Cellar, a new person goes up and tries stand up for the first time. And they bomb horribly. However, there is a person from imdb.com. They are recording the volume and frequency of the boos they receive because of how bad they were. And those boos are kind of translated via like a seismometer type thing into a graph that is then transposed by a team of trained seismologists into letters that form words that become the summaries for a movie that came out that day. Or if no movie came out that day, then one of the most recent movies to come out. Now, sometimes they have trouble interpreting what the right movie is for those for these graphs, so that's why sometimes the summaries are really wrong. But I'm looking at the one here for Planet of the Apes 2001. And, I mean, it's fine. It's pretty short. but it's fine.
Okay.
Can I get a how short? How short is it?
One sentence.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
And it's a question that I just want to ask, just in case. Have you decided what the follow-up thingy will be when that inevitably happens?
I was going to ask the same question.
I do have a trivia-based tiebreaker.
Okay.
Oh, you mean a fair and reasonable tiebreaker that someone couldn't possibly have some kind of advantage on, relying on their
until
memory?
I already know it, and then it
require
doesn't count
somebody
anymore.
to remember certain words, events, anything that's ever happened. So I can't promise it's not biased towards people who are capable of remembering things, but not to the degree of the other game, I guess.
Well, then I guess DJ, you get to decide who goes first.
You.
Okay. After I don't even want to say after. I'm gonna say an astronaut crash lands on a planet and discovers that it is ruled not by people, but by apes.
Okay.
Man, that's really good.
Yeah.
That's
really skimmed it down too, because I had a couple more fluff words that I was thinking about before Diggins said it was short.
An astronaut who crash lands on a mysterious planet learns that it is inhabited by an advanced society of apes who have enslaved humans.
You know what?
What?
I think I just straight up have a winner.
Damn it.
Oh my god. Wait, why are you saying damn it?
Because I wanted to see what the trivia would be. I think trivia is fun.
You can still tell us, right?
Yeah, you know what?
Do you want to do the trivia knowing that I already have a winner? Oh my god.
Maybe.
The trivia is completely non-determinative of the winner.
Fine. I want to try it.
All right. It's just a little thing that I happened to spy in the trivia section of IMDb here, which is Mark Wahlberg, the main actor of this movie, agreed to be in it after only 5 minutes because he really wanted to work with Tim Burton. In fact, he also dropped out of a different movie that he was supposed to be in order to be in this one. Now, this is like a big famous movie you guys have both definitely heard of. What movie did he drop out of to be in this Planet of the Apes remake?
That's a great question.
I have an insane guess.
I mean, 2001, I have an insane guess too, but I feel like I would know this if it was true. And I don't think the time lines up, but I'm still going to say it. DJ, do you want to go first or second?
Yeah, I'll go first. My insane guess is Harry Potter.
My insane, well, that is an insane guess. My insane guess was
somebody else in this movie did drop out of Harry Potter to be in it.
I mean, that makes sense.
Mark Wahlberg.
Probably like one of the 2 English actors in it, maybe, perhaps. Actually, I don't know. Where's Abomination from? Tim Roth. Is he Australian, actually?
I don't know, but I believe it is.
Remember. It's Helena Bonham Carter, right? Probably.
No, it's Tim Roth.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. My guess for the movie was going to be The Matrix, but I don't think that time's like, unless their shooting schedules were all weird. That's a year or 2 before this.
Would you say The Matrix?
Yeah, The Matrix. I know Will Smith dropped out of The Matrix, but I was like, maybe it was Mark Wahlberg too.
That is not correct. No.
It's a good guess though.
Yeah. It's a role he's equally unsuited for.
Oh man, I don't. Okay. The Transporter.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
I'm gonna say. My guess is it's an action movie. Not The Grinch, although I would love it if it was The Grinch.
Oh man, that'd be so great.
Yeah. But no, I'm thinking it's like an action movie from the 2000s that he wasn't in. I mean, I'm going to say Ocean's 11, maybe. That came out around this time, and he looks just like Matt Damon. So maybe that was originally the plan.
That is correct. It is Ocean's 11.
Oh, look at that.
Very good.
A movie we referenced minutes ago.
He turned down the role of Linus.
Yeah, Matt Damon's guy.
Oh.
He really does look just like him in a couple of shots. And when they were both young and the same guy. Well, they're from Boston, so they came from the same,
The goo.
stock.
Came from the same goo.
Yeah, goo. Yeah.
The racist slime they have in Boston.
I went to Boston recently. This is all I'll say about Boston. I was expecting a little bit more excitement in Boston. They closed the bars at like 1 o'clock. What has happened to that town?
I know.
I've heard the racism has remained somehow, but a lot of the other rowdiness that was supposed to be kind of the, charm of this city just doesn't exist anymore. I don't know what happened, but
are the streets still utterly impossible to navigate?
It's a weird city. Yeah. The layout is strange, but thankfully they have no public transportation. So you can just figure it all out on your own.
Beautiful.
So dumb.
Anyway, congratulations, Nando, on winning that tiebreaker. That's not actually breaking a tie,
Right?
Because actually DJ won.
God damn it!
Oh,
super intelligent
victory.
or something? Was that it?
Let me read the summary and I'll explain my reasoning.
Okay.
You both did decently.
Okay.
DJ did, I think, a significant enough bit better that he deserves the win.
Wow.
Thank you, sir.
The summary is, in 2029, an Air Force astronaut crash lands on a mysterious planet where evolved talking apes dominate a race of primitive humans. You both did crash lands on a planet, finds apes, but DJ said mysterious planet. And he mentioned that the apes have enslaved humankind, which is that whole last bit there, which you did not mention at all, Nando. So I thought based on those 2 points in his favor, it is a DJ win. As heavy as it makes my heart to say so, to break this incredible losing streak.
Why are you being so mean? This is like I entered the longest drought in like show history. It feels like.
Probably.
Well, we'll have to wait for the historians to weigh in on that one.
That's true.
If there's one thing I'm certain, it's that none of us remember.
But we don't keep our own records. It's just,
why would
we? Why would?
Why would anyone?
Yeah.
But yeah, fair. Oh my god, it's so fresh and new. I cannot believe it. I'm out of this horrible hell that I've been trapped in.
You may have forgotten after your long absence, but as the winner, you have earned the right to say what you thought of the movie first.
My goodness, I can't. Well, where do I begin? This movie's horrible. It's so bad. I had not even heard of this movie. When I flipped it on, I was shocked to see Mark Wahlberg just like chilling. I had no idea. And Helena Bonham Carter and Tim Roth. And do you know what he would have been in Harry Potter had he not turned that down?
He was supposed to be Snape. Now, in fairness, before anyone gets in the comments, he didn't turn down Snape to be in this movie. Like, that's not the reason. But he did turn down Snape and instead spent the filming period he would have been for Harry Potter doing this.
That's huge. That's huge. Because he might not then be Abomination. You don't know how that stuff
That's
works
true.
out. Anyway.
Yeah, then that whole MCU would be different.
It'd be so different.
Unacceptable.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, this movie has a lot of people. I was unaware of it. It's very bad. I'm not a big Planet of the Apes guy.
That's a good question. Have any of us seen other Planet of the Apes movies?
The new ones? Like the
recent. I saw the new ones and I saw that Simpsons sketch where they do a musical. That's all I got.
Dr. Zaius?
Yeah, Dr. Zaius.
Yeah. I have also seen the new ones and have never seen the originals.
Because I'm not 60. So like I wasn't alive when they were out, and I feel like if you're not alive when they're out, they have no charm. They're so weird. Also, Charlton Heston has aged like pretty poorly in my brain. So I think if it was like,
he had aged pretty poorly when he made a cameo in this one, Nando.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if that was, wait, who's him?
He's Tim Roth's character's dad.
Oh, okay. Because in the beginning, I thought Chris Christopherson was him, and then I had to look up who that was. And I was like, no, that's not him. Anyway, yeah, I think if it was maybe like, I don't know, Paul Newman or something, maybe I'd be like, yeah, that's like an old classic. But it's this guy who everyone it seems like a real piece of work. So yeah, never even considered it. Also, there's like 50 of them, right? And like a TV show, and I think there's more than you would expect, I guess.
I mean, 4 is more than I expected.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, like we're here, right? We have this Tim Burton adaptation, and I don't know if there was just no chance because it is bad and has no shot for those reasons. But it is bad, and I enjoyed 0 parts of it. Like, I feel like the premise is weird. I don't like apes. Like monkeys and apes kind of freak me out. They're like a little too close to us. I would never make it in Taiwan. And
They got monkeys in Taiwan?
they're like everywhere.
No.
Wait, no, Thailand. I'm sorry.
I mean, no, like it's parts of the earth, like that area.
I know
India
Thailand
has
for
a
sure.
similar monkey
if someone were like,
deal.
"There's no monkeys in Taiwan," I'd be like, probably, but Thailand for sure. But it's the acting's like pretty meh. Like Mark Wahlberg's doing nothing in this movie. I did not find him charming at all.
Wow.
I'll say
How dare you?
I did not find him charming at all.
You better hope he doesn't show up to the studio to take issue with your remarks.
Yeah, and he better not break into my house here and chokehold me.
Yeah, what's he up to these days? Is he busy doing like some
He's
horrible
doing
movie?
Wahlberg
Ted maybe. He's making that Ted show that's good instead of
Ted
bad.
show.
He did say in the Entourage movie that he would do 50 of those Ted movies if they let him.
He should have instead of
whatever
this.
it is he said.
Yeah. Oh, Father Stu is getting a sequel. That's right. He's doing.
Is it
really?
Wait.
I don't know. Maybe it's not. I thought it was, but he's not on it. Maybe
just,
not as a producer, but maybe as an actor. Nope, not as an actor either. Never mind. Go on. Sorry.
And just wait, guys. Could you? Oh, wait. I think I hear. Oh my God.
Oh, no.
God, no.
Oh no! What's happening?
Oh no!
Oh, it's my friends Nando and Diggins. Oh, it's me, Mark Wahlberg. I'm
Mark
here
Wahlberg.
to talk about Planet of the Apes 2001, an amazing movie that I enjoyed filming and is so good. It's me, Mark Wahlberg. So I heard that DJ was talking shit about my movie, so I kicked the shit out of him. And
Nice.
I want you to know what I think of the movie. I love it. It's a fucking great movie. Masterpiece. Class. I'm so glad I turned down Ocean's 11 to do it. I'm so glad I turned down Harry Potter to do it. It's great.
You would have been a good Harry Potter.
You were also supposed to be in Harry Potter?
Yeah, I was gonna be Dumbledore. They had me fitted out for everything. It was gonna be wicked awesome. I was gonna be the best Albert Dumbledore ever. But I decided, I decided to do Planet of the Apes. So I did Planet of the Apes, and so I don't think we can say enough great things about this movie. The lighting's perfect, the acting's perfect. I kiss a girl and a monkey. They're so fucking cool.
Now that monkey was also a girl, right? You didn't gay kiss a monkey.
Dude, I'll pop you in the mouth right now. How fucking dare you? I'll fucking dare you. I'm as straight as an arrow, and I would have stopped 9/11.
You would have. I mean, look at what you were busy doing this.
Yeah, if you were too busy promoting Planet of the Apes, maybe you could have stopped 9/11, Mark Wahlberg.
No 9/11. So I think I can say enough about this movie, how perfect it is.
I mean, listen, Mark Wahlberg, to be fair, not to be fair to you, but just to be fair to Boston in general, there's probably good people for Boston. Let's all name one.
Mark Wahlberg.
Well, sure, you would say that because you're you.
Mm-hmm.
Man. Like ever?
Like
or
Matt
like
Damon seems fun.
Yeah.
You guys can't even give it to Bill Burr.
Seem cool.
Look, I can name so many. Bill Burr.
Bill Burr is from Space Boston.
Yeah.
What? Bill Simmons. Our two best Bills. Burr and Simmons.
I guess all you have to do is just go and...
How dare you besmirch Bill Maher like that?
Yeah.
It's even Boston. I fucking love that guy.
Days.
Bill Maher, by the way.
He's from... Guess where he's from? Guess. New Jersey. That's you didn't even need to guess.
He's from he's from
like
Jersey?
Right around. Yeah. He's very local.
I was going to say Connecticut.
No, it's even worse. He's Rivervale.
Oh.
Rivervale, New Jersey.
You know what we got?
From Pascack High School.
We got Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum, best basketball player in the league.
Wait, sorry.
Tom Brady.
No, hold on. Go back to the basketball player. What was his name?
Jason Tatum.
One more time.
I don't know why you guys can't get it. Probably it's because you got sawdust in your ears.
Was it Jason
Tatum.
Tatum.
That's what I said.
Is that why he left? Because he's like, I can't deal with these Bostonians pronouncing my weird name. I know, not my weird name, but pronouncing my name weird anymore.
Yeah, actually, his name's quite normal.
Yeah, Jason Tatum. I don't really know too much about him, but I'm going to assume he's got a big chip on his shoulder from all this, you know? Oh, well, Chris Evans is from Boston.
In the NBA. He's great. Wow. Celtics getting the championship this year, fellas. I tell you that. Celtics going all the way.
Maybe.
That has big DJ saying the Knicks will win energy.
Yeah.
I mean, the Celtics aren't as helpless as the New York Knicks. Those
I
awful,
agree,
awful
Mark Wahlberg.
Players.
Can you say more bad things about the Knicks?
Yeah.
Well, Julius Randle, you can't stay on the court. He gets injured all the time. OG, horrible defender. It's just they got Tom Thibodeau, worst coach in the league.
But
awful.
But the thing you like best about the Knicks is their owner.
Yeah, and they're
James Dolan is a close personal friend of mine. Every weekend, if I'm free and not filming a new movie, I go see JD in the Straight Shorts.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
if you ever,
because you used to be kind of a musician, have you ever jumped in with them and like done a little, guest spot?
He's never asked. He's never asked, but
Marky Mark's never gone up there and dropped a bar.
I would be honored to work with JD in the Straight Shots. I love them so much.
This must be so sad. Every week you go there and you're like, I'm Mark Wahlberg. I'm a famous person. Like, he must see me. There's no way he just doesn't notice I'm here. And he's probably calling everybody else on stage that has music stuff. All his classic friends, probably P. Diddy, I'm going to guess, and some others. And then still you in the background, just, waiting for your turn, but it's never going to come.
I will say, just quick, P. Diddy, also close personal friend. He did nothing wrong, and I think he's completely innocent.
And this is the opinion of Mark Wahlberg and no one else.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. I'm Mark Wahlberg. I don't understand why you guys can't get this. You don't understand. It's fine.
I just want to be clear for legal reasons.
Yes, I am Mark Wahlberg. These are the thoughts and opinions of Mark Wahlberg, not anyone else. This is Mark Wahlberg talking.
Listen, I do want to say this, and obviously you know this because you're Mark Wahlberg. You and P. Diddy are actually close friends. You launched a water company together, a fancy kind of water.
A water company? What did they do to it?
Aqua Hydrate.
Aqua Hydrate. It's wicked good.
It was just an alkaline water something or other. I don't know when this happened, but the Miami Times News is reporting about, so about 10 years ago, revolutionary new performance water set to take over the beverage industry, according to one of you.
Performance water?
And
alkaline water. It's like a thing.
You get it everywhere.
Is this Michael's secret stuff?
I mean, maybe. I mean, alkaline is like a chemical. How does that affect like Looney Tunes and paper and stuff? Maybe it does actually make them sick and cool. But yeah, you guys are friends. And this just is random guess, but probably one of the famous people you spent the most time with in your career.
Honestly, also, Ciroc, my idea.
I mean, Ciroc's fine. I think Ciroc's okay. It's a decent vodka for that price.
Everyone loves it.
No, it's good. All right.
It's in a lot of rap videos.
I got nothing bad to say about it. You know who else is from Boston? Conan O'Brien. We like him, right? Do you like him?
We love him.
You
see that Hot Ones episode? Wicked good.
I did see that.
That man's a champ right there. He's
a champ.
He's true real one. But listen, I want to get you guys off track. So will you two please give your unfiltered opinions of the movie? And I'm just going to sit here and I'm just going to listen.
I did want to ask, actually, Mark Wahlberg, before you go, or before you be quiet and listen, you said that this movie's a masterpiece. You love it. It's great. Which is interesting because in interviews you have said that it was messed up. It set the franchise back. It's not very good. And the studio really screws you guys on this one.
That's some great points you brought up there, Diggins, and I hate you so much. You're my nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like your face, and I'm gonna come punch it.
Nobody does.
Wow.
Especially not Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg is gonna break into your ass and punch your face.
I'm just saying, get in line.
But to that, I would say, shut up. That's what I would say.
It's a fair rebuttal.
That's what me, Mark Wahlberg, would say. And you know what? I don't have to sit here. I don't have to take this. You know what? I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna get your other host, and he's just gonna sit in this chair instead. So I don't need this. So I'm out.
Wow.
Oh,
Mark Wahlberg.
Oh God!
He just dropped the mic on the floor.
He does that.
Oh my God!
He knows that
I just got
from
punched
rap.
by Mark Wahlberg.
In Boston, also, I had another person. Shoot, who was it? Another cool Boston guy we all like. Oh, Malcolm X from Boston, apparently, which does not come up as much as you would expect. Wait, that's not true. Now it's saying he was born in Omaha. Maybe went to school in Boston or something.
Maybe. Either way, don't want to hear Mark Wahlberg's opinion on Malcolm X.
No, I'm confused though. Hold on, we gotta look this up. Gotta figure this out.
Get to the bottom of this one.
Why was he on that list? This Wikipedia article at least says nothing Malcolm X related. Nothing Boston. Let me just Google Boston.
So you found a list of people from Boston. Malcolm X is on it, but then it is inaccurate. He is not from Boston.
Oh no, okay. He lived in Boston from age 12 to 14. So yeah, okay.
I guess that's enough.
He was born there. He's somewhere he's not known for being a Bostonian. He didn't have the accent, probably. That would be.
We have
really
funny
funny.
Records of him speaking.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But what if when Denzel made the movie, he was like, I'm gonna class this up. I'm no thank you.
He took out the Bostonian.
Absolutely
That's the only
not.
reason we've all forgotten that not Denzel, but Malcolm X spoke with a thick Boston
accent. Yeah. I mean, it is. I mean, to be fair to history, a lot of historical figures from Boston, all those Kennedys, and also all those other guys that were like on the Declaration of Independence and stuff. They were pretty big Boston guys.
Not Gotti, but wasn't there like another one of those mobsters?
Mobster?
The guy from The Departed.
Well, yeah, I guess the Irish Mafia is probably pretty big at there. I don't know. I don't have famous mobsters besides Gotti, and then the one from Al Capone, but.
I know one from Rhode Island.
Oh, cool. Whitey Bulger. That's who you're thinking of.
That's it. I'm thinking of Whitey Bulger.
Yeah, Whitey Bulger was from
The Departed one, actually.
So Whitey Bulger, it might have been based on him. Whitey Bulger was, I want to say, like Johnny Depp made a movie about Whitey Bulger around then. Yeah, it's apparently not very good.
Black Mass.
Wow, a Johnny Depp movie's not that good.
I know. Listen. It was one of those movies where he put on a lot of makeup and everybody's like, whoa, this guy's acting. We love that.
Love those.
Yeah. I wonder how much he probably went all out on that accent too. Probably went crazy with it.
Yeah.
But anyway, Nando, as the loser, you don't get to say what you thought of this movie.
I mean, I'm like the rest of you. I also don't have any affinity for the Planet of the Apes movies. I think the ones that are good now are good in spite of the idea and execution of the previous ones. Like I said, I understand why someone in 1972 or whenever this came out would be like, wowie, that's like an ape but a person or whatever, but it always looks upsetting. I don't think I saw this in theaters or anything like that, so I don't remember. I definitely have seen it before, and I already knew I didn't really like it. I think Mark Wahlberg is pretty nothing in this. Everybody else is doing their best. And Paul Giamatti deserves some sort of Oscar. He's alive, so it can't be like a posthumous Oscar. We do Oscars in real life and we go this is actually for that movie 10 years ago that we fucked you over on. I think we should just do that for real. Just have one Oscar we give out every year at the Oscar ceremony. By the way, this is for a movie 10 years ago that we just missed. And this one should go to Paul Giamatti because he's great in it.
That's great.
For achievements in ape acting.
Yeah. For achievements in eye and mouth, sounds, his growls and stuff. I loved it. He really did invent a new way to be. And he nailed it. Everybody else is fine. It's a lot of famous people that you're like, oh, I guess he was in it. It ends and it's got a really stupid ending that I think is stupid. And I think if people don't know it, we'll talk about it, but it's such a clear kind of misunderstanding of what the first one was and what made that interesting. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, Diggins, what do you think of that? So overall, not a huge fan. It's probably, I don't know if this is true, but I'm willing to take a guess to say it's the worst Tim Burton movie ever made, probably.
Ooh, that's a solid take.
I tend to generally like his stuff.
Is it worse than that new Dumbo?
Yeah, I thought the Dumbo movie was okay compared to this. Oh my God, yeah. I would not have a hard time recommending this. Like, I would have a hard time recommending Dumbo to someone, but like, there's no way I would ever be like, you should definitely sit down and watch that Planet of the Apes movie. I don't know. What else has he done? I mean, he's done a lot of stuff. He's directed. Oh my God. Well, I guess some of these are like TV specials. Yeah, I don't know.
Worse than Dark Shadows.
I never watched that. It looked not great. Honestly, like worse than Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is the only thing that right now sits in contention. But I'm going to say it is worse than Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Yeah, I think Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was like going for something that it more or less succeeded at, just in a way that nobody wanted. Whereas with this, it's like, I don't think it succeeded. Yeah. Like, I do think Johnny Depp, to all of his faults, does have a certain amount of something that Mark Wahlberg just does not in this.
Worse than that Alice in Wonderland movie that was one of the highest grossing movies ever for a while for no reason.
Yeah, I didn't like it, but it was a humongous hit, and Johnny Depp's barely in it, but he was all over the marketing. Yeah, I would say that's up there in my least favorite ones of his. And I'm sure there's some other movie that I'm forgetting about. Like, I never saw Big Eyes, but like, Big Fish, love Big Fish. Yeah, Mars Attacks is great. The Batmans he did were great. Edward Scissorhands, Beetlejuice, like Pee-wee. Like, he's got some really good movies. And then right in the middle of a bunch of the good ones is this. And that stinks. But again, nobody's perfect. Diggins, what about you? What'd you think of the Planet of the Apes 2001?
So like I said, I've never seen the originals. I have watched all of the new trilogy that there's going to be a fourth installment of soon.
Mm-hmm. That's how trilogies usually go too. They always go one more than they should. And then
well, we don't know that it's one more than they should yet.
That's true. We'll see.
Maybe that because of that. I like that trilogy a lot. I think those 3 Planet of the Apes movies are really good. Slight correction to myself earlier. There are 5 original Planet of the Apes movies made over a period of 6 years. Yeah,
I checked this out too. There was a live action show and an animated show. People could not get enough of this. And even we'll talk about it, but it's a certain actor's like favorite movie. And, he's not a loser. So there's got to be something going on. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'd never seen the originals. I'd never seen this before, although I knew about it. So I did get the double jump scare of not knowing Mark Wahlberg was in this, and then the face that will haunt my nightmares, Helena Bonham Carter's monkey makeup.
Oh, rough.
All the other apes look great.
Yeah.
The effects really hold up. But Helena Bonham Carter, I think because she's supposed to be a love interest, they made her more human, and it's deeply unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the furries are like, this is one for us?
No.
Let's go.
No.
Really?
Absolutely not.
I think the furries tried to distance themselves from this as if they were on the flight logs or something. Just like, listen, we've seen the Planet of the Apes movies. We know it exists, but we had nothing to do with it. Technically, it's not fur, it's hair, so it doesn't even count as what we have. So, yeah. I feel like monkey movies, that is really, I don't know. That feels like that. I'm sure that would be furries, but I feel like a furry would be like barely. That's not what we do.
Like I've never been a part of this community. I don't know if we have any furry listeners. Perhaps you can tell us.
Probably a couple,
Probably
100%. That could be too. Every single one. We don't know.
I mean, we're probably a gateway for cats. So, although I wasn't sure where they landed on cats.
That's the other one that I think we decided they would disavow at every sense. Yeah.
But I think generally furries are not super into monkeys because they're pretty human-like to begin with. So it's like, I don't know. It feels like you're not committing at that point.
Yeah, it's like the guy that comes to the Halloween party with the shirt that says costume on it, and you're like, really cute, but we actually have gigantic costumes that we actually made, and you have just like a monkey clothes. Cool.
Anyway, all that to say, I don't like this movie at all. It's a weird blend of like, there's parts of it that are like total like campy B-movie nonsense. And then there'll be a scene where Paul Giamatti is like, "You're all slaves and you have no rights. This is a movie about slavery.
Yeah.
We're deliberately enslaving these intelligent talking people because we love slavery." And I'm like, I don't think this is the movie for this.
It is. We don't get to choose. Look what they did.
But yeah, it's really stupid and clunky, and other than the, again, surprisingly good ape makeup.
Yeah.
Mape up. Yeah.
Make ape.
No, Mape Up. I like that.
Ape up.
Okay.
The Mape Up. Yeah.
There's not much to recommend it at all. Acting that isn't Paul Giamatti, not great. Tim Roth is really going for it in a way that is committed, but I don't know that I liked.
Yeah.
Michael Clark Duncan. It's always nice to see him.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Is he still with us?
No.
Oh man, that every time I think, I'm like, that's such a bummer.
If he was, I'm sure we'd hear that he was in Kingpin in the Deadpool movie by
my
now or
God.
something. There'd be some announcement.
He died 12 years ago.
Yeah, it's been dead for quite a long
I was
time.
gonna say it was a while ago.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I hate that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
A lot of
movie's bad. Not much
a
else.
lot
to
of good
say about
actors
it.
in this. I want to say, who's the one? There's a couple people in this that one guy from Stuff. That guy from like
Mark Wahlberg.
yeah, no, the guy from like Mr. Deeds and stuff. That guy, Eric Avari. He's in so much stuff. He's one of the humans. I don't even know how to describe him. He's like the bald guy.
Oh, you mean the house human?
Yeah, that guy.
Ugh.
He plays a lot of things. Most known for his role in The Mummy, which eventually you'll have to watch. But
will I? That's
you
up
will.
to the listeners.
Maybe. That's true. But yeah, he's fun. He's one, and he's a human. So you see him, and you're like, oh yeah, him. Then there's other guys like Kerry Tagawa, very famously Shang Tsung from the Mortal Kombat movies, who is just covered in ape makeup stuff, and you kind of have to figure out that it's him over time. And movie's okay at that. But where we're going with this? Oh yeah,
I didn't like it.
you didn't like it, yeah.
But even though none of us liked it, only one of us must bear the burden of summarizing or telling us what happened in the movie.
Yeah.
That person is Nando.
So like, I kind of remember this. Mark Wahlberg is in space on 2001: A Space Odyssey, basically. Like because I remembered seeing this and I kind of thought he was just like alone with the ape, but no, he's on a full space station doing stuff, doing experiments with the ape. It's his best friend. He's trying to teach it how to fly a plane. It doesn't even kind of know how. Like, and we have autopilot, and they're controlling the plane in certain times. And by plane, I mean little spaceship pod thing. But like, they're doing missions with this electrical disturbance cloud thing, gives Fantastic Four powers, and like they have a bunch of apes. First of all, it's important in little cages. And Mark Wahlberg loves his ape so much. He's nice. And they want to throw his ape into the big pit of like electricity in space. And he's like, don't do that. And they're like, no, we will. Oops, we lost the ape. It's dead forever. And Mark Wahlberg, in a move that
seem to me that he actually likes this ape at all. He doesn't seem that attached to it.
Yeah, I guess he doesn't sell that during the movie, but that is, I assume, what we're supposed to take from his actions immediately after that, which are he hijacks a spaceship and just goes to get him or something. And everybody's like, don't do that. At the same time, right before this, there was a weird little blackout on the space station, which isn't really like at the time. It's just like, that's weird. And they get a distress signal for like an old man or something. They barely see it.
Because even though it's the year 2029, apparently, which, by the way, I know that's in the summary, but I don't know where it is in this movie.
It shows up at the very beginning of the movie, a big number that says 2029, International Space Station or whatever they call it.
Boo. Anyway, their technology is from like a distant past because all the video is all like grainy and stuff.
Love that. Yeah. And like, Mark Wahlberg gets like a little FaceTime from his friends who are like, "We're getting married. You should get married, Mark Wahlberg."
I don't think it's a FaceTime. I think it's a pre-recorded message.
Right? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. They had no imagination for what might exist in 2029.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even know. Maybe it will be. Maybe we'll lose all the FaceTimes and it will just be pre-recorded stuff.
5 years.
Yeah.
5 years.
AI, you got
Honestly,
5 years to break it all.
That's what will happen when TikTok gets banned. We're just going to lose all that technology.
But yeah, so the Mark Wahlberg ends up going into the portal. The monkey disappears, but then reappears or something. It's unclear what's going on there. Like the monkey's pod. He goes through the portal, crash lands on a planet. Dagobah crash lands on like a swamp area, and meets a bunch of people dressed like that one poster from Shawshank Redemption. And then and he's got like weird little pilot mesh outfit on or something. I don't know what they dress pilots in 5 years, but it's not what you'd expect. But then they get rounded up by a bunch of apes. So, like we were saying, the people are some sort of like, like wild. They're living in the wild. They don't have civilization like the apes do. They have cars. Well, not cars. They have like little carts and all kinds of weaponry. And they capture all the humans. They put them in a big truck thing and then take them away. And immediately they're like, Mark Wahlberg, something's up with you. But none of them know what. And he's, he just hides kind of amongst them. He goes to the Be Sold, where you meet Paul Giamatti, who is the selling guy who sells apes. And
you mean the ape slave trader?
Yeah, I guess so. If you could call it that. But
he calls it that.
Oh yeah, that's true. He's and he's a wheeling and dealing type character. He's not just like an honest slave trader. He's also making all kinds of backroom deals and stuff.
Not one of those good, honest, hardworking slave traders that we know so well.
Right? Yeah. I guess this character, even if he wasn't the slave trader, you'd be like, he's the guy who could get you stuff or whatever. I don't know. He's always making moves. And it's part of why he's so great. But what was I going to say? So they do a slave auction. And Helena Bonham Carter shows up. What is her name?
I could not.
Ari. Yeah, that's right. Now, I don't know too much about the original Planet of the Apes, but are any of these characters supposed to be like them? Because, like,
I did look up the original Planet of the Apes in anticipation of this podcast, so someone could answer these questions.
Oh, good.
And the answer is no, not really.
Okay.
There were like sympathetic chimpanzee characters who were like scientists, but there's no real analog to them in this movie. The plot's completely different, other than astronaut ends up on a planet where there are talking apes and humans are
subservient.
I will say, in that original, the humans are mute and otherwise seemingly not very intelligent.
Yeah.
Much more akin to monkeys as they are in our world. Not entirely. They're still like kind of people. But it feels less uncomfortable that the apes have slavery. Because when they're just talking and intelligent and clearly on an equal level, then it's like, this is just slavery.
Isn't that it's something interesting, in our modern times? It's like, wow, this is where you would say make you think, but it's slavery. See, it's slavery, but it's also like, I guess it's weird because, and this is true of, I guess, probably actual slavery, but like some of them do like jobs, like they're like house, workers and stuff. And some of them are like treated kind of like pets, because the little girl who is Helena Bonham Carter's, how are they related?
She's not related to Helena Bonham Carter. She's Tim Roth's niece.
Oh, okay, right. And Helena Bonham Carter's like kind of dating Tim Roth or something.
They're not dating. He's pursuing her.
Yeah,
she is not interested.
Right. And Tim Roth is like the evil general who wears big general stuff and is like a big guy. He's not that big, but like he's very important. His name is Thane, that I remember. They buy the little girl, and the little girl is also related to the supermodel who is related to Chris Christopherson, who's like an older man. And during all of this, selling and stuff, that's when what's Mark Wahlberg tries to kill Helena Bonham Carter for a second, but that only teaches her, and he doesn't like try to kill her, he uses her as leverage, but that only teaches her that there's something going on with this guy. They got to figure it out. So she buys him and the other ones. She gets a couple of them. This is where the supermodel and the dad, is the dad get sold with them, or does he leave later?
No, the dad is still there. I think it's just Mark Wahlberg and the supermodel.
I think you're right. I know I'm saying that, but I did look it up. I believe she was a supermodel. That was where they got her from.
Yeah, no, she really was a model. And I think a swimmer also.
Oh, so humans could swim. Apes, not so much.
Huge plot point.
Might be important later. What else? Oh, an important kind of thing. Some of the apes are apes. Some of them are like orangutans and stuff. I know this is the Planet of the Apes, but like there's different. They got different looks.
Planet of the various primates.
They're different species. Yeah. Now you might be asking yourself, but all the apes on the, well, actually we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But they so the humans have to do work. There's a big dinner. Everybody, all the main characters are there, and they're all talking about ape stuff and like having really awful. This is an awful dinner, by the way. Like everybody's talking about politics. It's a disaster. And again, Tim Roth.
Everyone's talking about the politics of enslaving humans.
Yeah.
And whether humans are people. And I'm like, it's so heavy-handed and on the nose. And I'm like, none of this is being handled well. I hate it.
Yeah. But also, not Eli Roth. What is his name?
Tim Roth?
Tim Roth.
General Thade.
General Thade is like, again, sees Mark Wahlberg and he's like, this guy's got a mouth. Boy, does he. And again, he's like kind of obsessed with him. So that's great. Really important scene. This is also where General Thade finds the original ship. Does he find the original ship?
He doesn't. So he finds Mark Wahlberg's ship.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah.
In a scene that is entirely inconsequential.
Yeah. Except the only thing that's important there is he kills those guys, and then later they find the skeletons. So like he killed guys or something. Wait, they can't find the skeletons though. They just find the bodies. Okay.
They find the bodies in the lake, but again, that doesn't ever come up again. It isn't important.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So then all the humans just run away. It's pretty good. We'll get to it later, but
they just have a full-on Scooby-Doo chase scene.
Yeah,
as you do,
and they get away. It's cool. Some of the apes are trying to bone. That's pretty cool. They free like the little sister, Chris Christopherson. Everybody gets out. This is where Mark Wahlberg and Ari get a little bit more, going on stuff. And
you know how it goes.
Yep.
Interspecies relations.
All the forces get rounded up to try to fight them. Chris Christopherson sacrifices himself. He dies. Big giant one. Michael Clark Duncan gets him. And then the humans are like in the jungle for a while. So we they can like, because there's other humans. This is something that I didn't really catch on to for a while, but like there's a whole bunch of them just living around. And Mark Wahlberg's like, all right, I'm going to go find my ship. So he goes into there because apes can't swim. This is where we were saying that. So he has to go find stuff, and he does. And it kind of proves that he's really from space or whatever, including his gun, which is important. She's very, very free, like just wasting shots for fun. But, he's pretty cool. And then they just walk around for a while, It's pretty good. Tim Roth's dad dies or something. It's not super important. I mean, it's super important, but like we'll get to it. It's bad, basically, like because Tim Roth is supposed to be descended from something, the great ape Semos, yeah. And the dad's like, listen, it's not exactly that, but and Tim Roth is like, well then, that's pretty good. Also, they get what's his name at some point. I cannot remember when. How do they get Paul Giamatti? Because he doesn't go with him. He
just shows up at one point to like try to capture them back. Yeah. Because although the entire army couldn't find them, Paul Giamatti could. Right. And instead of telling anyone, tried to capture them with like 2 guards he brought with him.
See, that's what's so great about this character. Not only is he a slave trader. He's also so greedy that he would do something dumb like that and then get in some trouble himself. He's just the worst.
But Nando, I think you'll find that by the end of the movie, this slave trader is just a lovable rascal.
He has a great redemption arc, boy. And like the bad guys now are like fully going to get them, right? Like they've mobilized a whole army. They've got tents. Mark Wahlberg and his friends burned them all to the ground, which is pretty cool. Like, I'm pretty happy that this worked out for him. It definitely didn't help the situation at all, but he did do it.
General Thade gets the Senate to untie his hands, declare full martial law. He can do whatever he wants. And I'm like, hard to see what you could be doing to the humans that you aren't already.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think we just see they didn't want him to use the tents, but then he was like, I need tent privileges. And then he got them. And look what happened. So they probably shouldn't have used them. The humans walk away, or not walk away, they swim away because they could swim. There's like a little creek that gives them safety. And eventually they find a crashed something. So it's like a big spindly thing coming out of the ground. But what we'll realize is
they've been following a signal that's Mark Wahlberg says is coming from the ship he came from, the Oberon.
Right.
Which he thinks means they must have landed to rescue him.
But it turns out that this thing is the flipped over ship that is crashed. He like does a kind of like reveals that it says something like, don't let the apes out, or something that's like, oh, the room I was in before. I don't remember what it was, but it's something.
Caution live animals.
That's it. Yeah.
Which was revealed that's what Kalima is, which is what the apes call it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I thought that was Kalima is something else, right? Kalima. Is that what they say when they rip your heart out in Indiana Jones?
I think it's spelled differently, but yeah.
Oh, for sure. But it's like, that is like what I recognize that from. And it's apparently a whole thing with Islamic stuff as well. But like, I was like, part of me was like, is that from the other Planet of the Apes movies? It's like, no, I haven't seen it. Why would I know that? It's from another movie. And then they see all this like, I don't know. Can either of you tell me what actually happened to this spaceship? They just got fucked up by the storm also?
I think the idea is, they got fucked up by the storm. Also ended up getting transported to this planet, but way in the past.
Right.
Unlike the original, this is a different planet.
Yeah.
And then they just had to survive, but like the ship's video logs still worked, so they made video logs.
Well, it's got nuclear energy. It's powered by nuclear energy. That stuff never goes away.
Too bad they didn't have any more useful technology than video logs to survive with.
Yep. But also, another important thing, the apes got freed during this, and she says this in one line, which I think is really weird. They're doing super well. Like, she's like, in the log, she's like, the apes are thriving on the planet, and then they all get killed by the apes on the video log. Now, I don't know if that means experiments they were doing on the apes makes them really smart, or just that there's trees and the apes know how to climb the trees better than we do. But one of those things happened.
Little of column A, little of column B.
Yeah, it seems like that. And like, that's fine, because it's like, whatever. That's what the new movies did, right? Where it's like they go to the jungle and like win fights in the jungle, but also they're kind of super intelligent also. So
yeah, they get exposed to a virus that makes them smart but kills humans.
Yeah. Then they kind of plan the big fight. All the humans are there now. It's like a humongous army of humans. Well, not humongous. It's like probably 200 humans or something. But that's probably about as many apes as there are too. So whatever. Although the apes have big armor, and some of them have horses, although some of them just run. And then, I didn't talk about the kid. There's this fucking kid. I said there was a little girl. There is a little girl, but there's another kid who's a little boy. And they're planning this big fight. They're like this big maneuver that Mark Wahlberg doesn't want to tell us about because it's a secret for us. But like, this kid's like, I want to be part of the maneuver. And Mark Wahlberg's like, absolutely not. You're a kid. Just go do something else. I don't know why you think you're important enough to like get any of my time at all. But then there's a big showdown. Everything goes as planned, except the kid shows up, does that thing like Brand did, falls off his horse or whatever. And then he needs to go, Mark Wahlberg needs to go rescue him. And then that's like a big source of tension. but it mostly works the way you'd expect. And the big like kind of thing is they blow up the ship's thrusters so that it creates a big explosion. And he hopes this will scare all of the other apes because he kills a bunch of them, but not nearly enough.
Although weirdly, the explosion doesn't kill any of them. It seems
right.
That's true.
It blows them away.
Yeah,
it knocks them over, and then while they're knocked over, the humans come in and like bash their brains in.
That's right.
Yeah.
Also, even though this seems like this would have been what the plan was, and I don't know, like when I was watching it, I was like, wait, didn't he want to do that? Tim Roth is not involved in this. Like, it doesn't seem like Mark Wahlberg makes an attempt to get Tim Roth to be part of this thing. Even though does Mark Wahlberg even ride out with them? I want to say he doesn't.
Mark Wahlberg? Like, does he go out to bash in monkey brains?
No,
prior.
For the original.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
He stays back. He doesn't go out till the kid goes out.
Why not? Like, I don't know. This strategically, it seems like this would have been pretty good if it managed
This was the way he does it is a strategic disaster.
Yeah.
Like, it was a good plan, but he completely squanders his chance, and they absolutely would have lost if not for what happens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. And then there's a big fight. A bunch of the humans fight the apes. Some of the humans are killed. That one ape, the one from Mortal Kombat, is killed and by Michael Clark Duncan. And Tim Roth and Mark Wahlberg have a big fight. But it is interrupted by a big light from the sky, some sort of star, it seems like. But then it turns out it's the pod with the original monkey, whose name I already forgot. What is the name of the monkey? It's like
Pericles.
Pericles, yeah. And then the monkey comes out and is friendly with Mark Wahlberg, and everyone kind of salutes it. And they're like, whoa, you're our king. But then the monkey runs into the ship because there's some stuff going on and tries to hide. And this is a big fight between Tim Roth and Mark Wahlberg that ends with Tim Roth being locked in the thing and then being scared, and because he tries to shoot through the bulletproof glass and then he loses. Everyone's like, you suck. And that's the end of him. But then
because Ape Jesus descended from the heavens and Tim Roth beats him up and breaks his leg. So all the other religious apes are like, I'm not about this.
Yeah, and he knows that he kind of knows that there's like weird lies associated with this, although I'm not sure how many of the weird lies, what they are or how he is affected by them. Yeah, because I don't think this is their ape Jesus or something. Like,
I mean, it's not.
Yeah, but they treat it like it is. Yeah, it's weird. So then Mark Wahlberg gets back in his ship. He kisses both the human and the ape. Gives Paul Giamatti a bag of stuff. And Paul Giamatti's got to turn over a new leaf, boy. You wouldn't even believe
drugs.
it. Yep.
Have
Gives
these
aspirin
drugs,
to the little
kids.
Pretty good.
He's moved straight on to other illegal things to sell.
Yeah. And then Mark Wahlberg is able to escape on the little pod with his monkey, right? Or no, does he leave the monkey? He leaves the monkey behind to live
weird. With. I mean, yeah, it'd be like an action, like if you were in a society of like modern day humans and an alien had come with like a caveman child and was like, I should leave him here. He's better off with his own kind. And it's like, he doesn't know anything about us and he never will.
Yeah, it's like all those movies with Brendan Fraser when he turned out to be a caveman or something. But if this isn't Brendan Fraser, it's a little monkey, so it's not as cool. But yeah, he goes into space by himself, Mark Wahlberg, in the little ship. So he's going to go home. I mean, for him, it's like clearly or not, but like, I guess he still thinks he is. And he lands, he has a crash landing on the National Mall. He lands in that big reflecting pool, but he survives. And he even gets like some chatter on his little thingy that's like, hey, what are you doing there? And he goes like, oh, I survived. And he walks up to the Lincoln Memorial Monument thingy. And what does he see? But instead of Abraham Lincoln, and like the whole thing is the same as you would expect. But instead of this being a monument to Abraham Lincoln, it's apparently a monument to General Thade, which means he went forward in time, I don't know, like enough long enough so that they think this is a different guy or something. Because General Thade, they don't like him, and he didn't look like this.
No, I think so. No one ever bothered to actually come up with an explanation for this. It's just some nonsense Tim Burton threw in. I don't know, to have fun with it. The closest to an explanation anyone has given is that General Thade escaped, also took a spaceship up to the cloud, ended up on Earth in an earlier time period, and overthrew human society and elevated the apes to build a new ape society on Earth. How he could possibly have done any of that, I don't know.
And and he's specifically a Lincoln-esque figure, which like he was wearing his
Lincoln.
Yeah.
And if he was wearing his General Thade clothes, I'd at least maybe be a little bit more understanding of it. But it's like he went there and established ape society and stuff, overthrew everything, and started dressing like Abraham Lincoln. Like he saw that. It was like pretty cool. And then Mark Wahlberg is arrested. Turns out everybody's apes here, including like all the police. And it's a whole deal because this is this was before 9/11, but still you couldn't just land a big plane in Washington out of nowhere. Like they weren't psyched about that. But then it ends. Big brain fuck. Whoa, what could it possibly be with this world he has created or found himself in? And Mark Wahlberg is confused. He makes a confused face. He makes a lot of confused faces in this movie.
He makes his best approximation of a confused face.
Yeah, that's true. It's a weird one. There's some other stuff. I don't know. There's probably other names for this, but I don't know what they are. I don't know. There's other apes played by like guys. I'm looking at the IMDb page now, and I'm like, this is probably Senator NATO is probably somebody, but I don't know who this is, so we'll just skip it. But yeah, that's the whole movie.
Yep.
Wow.
Anything I missed?
No, I think you got it.
Yeah.
So Diggins, for not your explanation, I had interpreted the end of the movie that he had landed on the same planet far, far in the future.
That's what I kind of thought too.
Like I didn't have him landing on Earth, but
I mean, I get why you would think that, but also that makes even less sense because how did they just happen to recreate the Earth city of Washington, D.C. on this other planet?
I mean, if it was so far in the future, I don't know.
But I mean, it's not that they couldn't have advanced their society to that point. It's how would they have exactly recreated a human city on another planet that they've never seen or heard of?
Oh, I'd chalk it up to coincidence.
Yeah. A million monkeys, a million typewriters gets you Shakespeare,
It's probably more than a million monkeys by that point. So yeah, they've definitely produced all the works of Shakespeare.
Oh yeah. They're probably mostly doing that. Like everybody gets on a typewriter and just makes some Shakespeare because there's so many monkeys. I do think one of the, like, if it wasn't General Thade, I wouldn't have any problem with it. I would still think it's dumb, but I would be like, I guess, I don't know. And honestly, because I've seen this movie before, I did think it was just some random ape because I never keep track of the names in movies like this. And I'm just like, oh, General Thade. But now I'm like, this is much worse.
I decidedly do not like this.
Yeah. Speaking of things we don't like, let's look at the wheel.
I like the wheel.
Yeah.
It's another one of those fabulous technologies that apes will never invent.
Yeah, I guess they did invent it though, right? Well,
shut up. Could
they have found a wheel on the ship and then learned what wheel was from that? Probably. There's probably like a push cart on that ship. Yeah. I got so many things on this wheel. I'm going to spin it. It starts with one of Diggins is a more believable astronaut than Mark Wahlberg. First of all, how dare you? Second of all, were you talking about one of the other human astronauts?
Sorry, what was the second part?
Are you talking about one of the other human astronauts, I assume?
Of course not. I'm speaking, of course, about Pericles the monkey.
What?
Now, you might say, we haven't used monkeys for spaceship testing in like 70 years. Or you might say, why on earth would they be using monkeys to pilot drones instead of drones?
Yeah.
A technology that's not that hard to imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or you might be saying, why do they have to genetically engineer the monkeys that they're using?
Mm.
Or you might be saying, why do the monkey space pods have the same exact controls as the human space pods instead of simplified ones that monkeys can more easily sort of be trained to know?
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
You might be asking all of these things. And the answer is shut up.
Mm-hmm. This is this is just like the monkeys are smart-ish, but not smart enough to actually do the space flying because he's bad at it every time.
Yeah, let's be clear. These are just monkeys.
Yeah.
Like, they say they've been genetically engineered, but they act like monkeys that we know.
The first scene is, I mean, maybe the first shot is like a monkey flying a spaceship. And then it is revealed that Mark Wahlberg is like in a training sim with this guy. And like, he's like outside of it. And the result of the thing is just the monkey crashed the ship out of nowhere. And he's like, they can't do it. We shouldn't have asked them to because they're monkeys, but like, this isn't going to work. And they still try. It's pretty interesting. Might as well just throw them, you know, just get a big catapult and toss the monkeys through the space portal if that's what we're doing here, because they can't fly the ship.
I mean, like the rationale seems to be like they don't want to risk human life by sending it out on these pods they've got to examine stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like, okay, but you've genetically engineered these monkeys. This must be incredibly expensive. So you're still throwing away, like, besides like, you know, animal rights, you're throwing away a monkey's life, which is not great. You're also throwing away, presumably, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars of investment with every monkey who dies.
Yeah.
Well, that one guy clearly doesn't care about monkeys because he's like,
He doesn't.
I don't want to lose a goddamn pod again.
Yep.
Now, hear me out here. Mark Wahlberg also does not care about this monkey.
Yeah.
Are we sure?
I am going to present my vision of this scene, my view of it, based on what I saw.
Okay.
Mark Wahlberg has been training the monkey, but he doesn't seem to have that much of an affinity for it. In fact, when he goes back to the monkey trainer lady, she's like, you're just teasing him. He doesn't like that. He's going to get stubborn and frustrated if you keep doing that. And he's like, whatever. He seems to be resentful that the monkeys get to pilot the pods instead of him because he's an Air Force pilot.
Yep.
Because Mark Wahlberg can't be in a movie without being in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And when the thing is where like they send out the monkey and like he's arguing with the captain, it's not we can't like just risk this monkey's life. He doesn't understand. It's cruel. He's like, send me out there, not this stupid fucking monkey. This monkey's a piece of shit. I want to be out there. Humans should be doing it. Monkeys will never be as good as humans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, then why does he go after the monkey then?
Because he wants to do it. I don't think he goes out to save the monkey. I think he goes out because he wants to pilot the thing.
Right.
I see. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that is what happens in the movie, but I think in the, like, maybe in the script it was different, but Mark Wahlberg just couldn't love a monkey. Like, he just couldn't, he had no chemistry with this monkey. Every time he picked it up, he like accidentally threw it on the floor, like, get it away. So he couldn't.
Not the only monkey in the movie he doesn't have any chemistry with.
That's true.
Hey.
But yeah, like, I feel like any other movie like this, he would just like the monkey, and he loves piloting ships, but he also loves the monkey. And whatever, like, I feel like they've done. I mean, that's what the first Planet of the Apes movie is in the new ones, right? It's like he's like got a special bond with Caesar that no one understands but him.
Right.
The first one, yeah. James Franco just loves his monkey pal.
Yeah, and everybody wants to do crazy shit with it, and in the end, it's just like, I hope he gets back to the monkey. You would figure too, because in the end of the movie, they treat it like that. He gets back and he's like, "Oh, Caesar," or whatever, the monkey, I love you, my favorite monkey. But yeah, no, they don't do that. It's weird. Is this the most unbelievable job Mark Wahlberg has ever had in a movie?
Ooh.
He's had some weird ones.
Agreed.
Porn star, first of all. That was original Mark Wahlberg. in Boogie Nights.
I feel like that's more believable than astronaut.
Oh, for sure. No, yeah. I'm just kind of going through some of them. He's got a lot of his jobs are cop or army, like you were saying.
He loves cop so much.
Cop is believable. Army.
Yeah, usually in the army, he's the army guy who used to be in the army but isn't anymore, too. Right. So like that feels closer to what is really happening with him. Entourage. He played Mark Wahlberg, so that's probably his most realistic role.
Yeah, I mean, it's the hardest. It's simultaneously the easiest and the hardest to believe.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
Because it seems insane that a man like Mark Wahlberg is in the position that he's in, but it's also just his real life. So,
yep. The other one I was gonna say that's always important that I always can't get over in these is he's an inventor in the Transformers movies he's in.
Oh, that might be, well, yeah, that and astronaut are the big ones, I think.
It's one of them though. It's like, I mean, or Priest, Father Stu. That's a pretty.
I believe it.
Yeah, I think he could do it for sure. He has that app that we all know and love.
Yes.
But yeah, just in terms of like the amount of.
What about as a superhero in Scoop?
Yeah, I cannot remember what the deal was with the Blue Falcon. Was he actually a superhero? Like, was he cool or was he kind of a fraud?
I don't remember. I could Scoop.
I do remember Scoop and Ted, not Ted Cruz, Jeb, and all those guys, and Mother. I love movies that have exclamation points.
Just really zhuzhes your title up.
Yeah, but yeah, I do think. I guess with this one, the thing that's a little bit less believable is he had to go to like college and stuff for it, you know, because they usually only let you be an astronaut if you're also like really smart. Whereas as a kind of engineer who just fixes doodads and gizmos, that you could kind of do that if you're anybody.
That's true. There's a tough testing and like process for becoming an astronaut.
Yeah.
That also, as you say, includes like you got to have certain degrees, you got to pass like mental tests. A lot of things I don't believe Mark Wahlberg could do.
What is his job in Ted? He's just like works at a store or something. That's like pretty good.
Generic Bostonian.
Yeah, more movies should have a guy who just works at a store. You know, some sales something. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we got that. Spin the wheel again. Landed on one of DJ's. This is related to that loosely fitting space helmets.
Oh my gosh. Another reason Mark Wahlberg isn't an astronaut. So this is very funny to me. I feel like not a lot, but like a good number of space movies really like make sure like the space aesthetic works, where it's like I got the suit and I got the helmet and it clicks. And I've seen enough astronaut movies that helmet clicks because it's got to be airtight. But maybe in 2029 they have some amazing like vacuum sealing technology or whatever. But like Mark Wahlberg, like Diggins, like angrily gets in the pod. He's like, I got in the pod, and he takes his helmet and he just slips it on.
Yep,
and that's it. Is he puts it on like a Halloween mask?
Yeah. And let's be clear, starts putting it on after he has started the launch sequence.
Yes,
yeah,
that's so good.
Like you're putting on your seatbelt after you see a cop. And you're like already driving. It's like, shit, I gotta get this out real quick.
Do what my mom does with the cell phone, because my mother, if she's driving with the cell phone, has to hold it up to her like mouth, even though we're in the year of our Lord 2024. And then if she's like, oh my God, hold on, just throws it in the back of the car, like, no problem.
Yeah.
Like, now she's shouting, I'll call you back. And then that's, deal with that. This is how we're going.
Yeah, his spacesuit is also just like a jacket. It's really weird, actually.
It's so weird.
He also, after just tossing this helmet over himself, also starts putting on his gloves. Yeah. Just like a spacesuit being sealed is a very important part of it.
Just wild, like no effort. I loved it. I'm watching this and I'm like, wow, we're going super low tech with this. The movie might as well have opened with him crash landing on the plane. Although I guess you couldn't set up the ending that way, but it's just so low effort.
Well, the ending's really bad. So
yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Can you imagine, by the way, let's just say the movie starts with like Mark Wahlberg like crash landing, and then there's a reveal. It's like, oh my God, all these people. And then the monkey comes down and it's like, oh my God, monkey Jesus. And then he's like, oh, my best monkey friend. Just no context.
That'd be pretty good.
Well,
I'd like to see this movie from the perspective of all the apes. Pretty interesting.
What, just like a human shows up. And by the way, also a thing that's confusing about how they've set up the humans in this movie is Charlton Heston showing up in the original is a genuinely big deal because he's an intelligent talking human who seems on the same level as the apes.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Wahlberg's just another guy. I don't know why they think he's so important.
Yeah. It's because he has nice teeth? I don't know. Because he has
Everyone
leadership?
has nice teeth because nobody ever
That's true.
does that. I mean, yeah, it's because he's the specialist boy.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody ever thought about breaking out or fighting back before he showed up.
Yep.
But like, that's a silly thing is my point.
Pretty silly. But yeah, he's like, and I mean, like, he's got like kind of modern haircut, I guess. That would be strange to see for everybody else is dressed like little Tarzans, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's pretty weird. Also, why do they live on a wasteland? Like, why isn't it a jungle land? Why? I don't know. It's just it's weird design choice. I'm looking at this now. I'm like, why did they do that?
That's a good question.
I mean, there is a jungle part of it, right?
There is a jungle part of it, right? And like, I guess part of it is like if they landed in a jungle, I'd be like, oh, of course the apes crushed it. Like
Right.
but it's not like a jungle planet. It's like a bunch of shit. It's not that important. But you know, it is important. I spun the wheel again. This is one of Diggins's. He said the line. They say it a lot. It's every other line in this movie is the line. DJ, you know what we're talking about with the line?
Oh, yes. Well, the one I recognized was the get your hands off of me, you damn dirty human. Filthy hands. Get your filthy hands off me, you damn dirty human.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a reversal of Charlton Heston's
Yes.
iconic line, which is the first thing he says to an ape in the movie.
Yep.
Yeah. And I guess the other line is not the same line, but it's in a similar vein. Is as the dad ape is dying, he says like, damn them all to hell, which is what Charlton Heston says on the beach. And they thought they were really crushing it with that bit. They were like really proud of themselves.
Seriously.
Who wrote this movie? Let's see. I want to imagine their faces. They came up with that. And it's okay. It's not the worst part of this movie for sure.
Apparently Tim Roth was really mad that he had to do that scene because nobody told him Charlton Heston would be in the movie.
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
I do think Tim Roth seems cool. Like, I feel like I've seen interviews with him where you're like, oh, this guy's on the level. He gets it.
And this was when Charlton Heston was president of the NRA.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like that happened. He was still president at the time.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. All right. I got the writers for these. They got like so all over the place. I'm not going to read you all their credits because some have written quite a few things. This one person has 28 credits, writing credits. This one has 18. So that's also a lot. Okay.
It's more than I'll ever do with my life.
So far, you know,
You got a lot of time.
this guy's got, so first one, 13, William Broyles Jr. This man has a screenplay for Apollo 13, Castaway,
Okay.
Unfaithful, Jarhead, Entrapment, which I forgot. That's not, obviously that came up for those other ones. Flags of Our Fathers, and what was the bad one in here? Oh, Polar Express. But
Loves
he
Tom
didn't-
Hanks.
yeah,
Is he just Tom
Yeah,
Hanks'
seriously.
guy?
maybe. That's a great point. Yeah, where was Tom Hanks in this? Do you think Tom Hanks had a role and then he just didn't do it? He's like, I don't want to do it.
Oh, my gosh.
Tom Hanks was originally Helena Bonham Carter, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that would be great. So that's one of the guys. So second person, Lawrence Connor. This person's been working for a while. A lot of TV stuff in the beginning. A lot of Star Trek movie, or at least a couple of Star Trek movies. Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country. The Beverly Hillbillies movie, which is fun. Right
Love
before Planet of the Apes, this person wrote Mighty Joe Young, another movie about a big old ape. A couple episodes of The Sopranos. Let's see if there's any good ones. I don't know. I've never seen Sopranos, so I don't recognize these names.
Yeah, how would you know?
If it was college, I'd be like, that's a good one. But that's all I got. Mona Lisa Smile, I kind of remember that. The Sorcerer's Apprentice with Nicolas Cage. This person also wrote the screen story for that.
Okay.
And then wrote that Many Saints in Newark movie and some Boardwalk Empire. So pretty good. Like mostly good. Last one, Mark Rosenthal. Mostly the same stuff as that other guy. They seem to be writing partners. Oh yeah, and they both have story credits for Superman 4, the Quest 4 piece. So nuclear energy, again, something we have to think about very seriously. But yeah, like a Murderer's Row of, and obviously none of them wrote, you know, Helena Bonham Carter walks on screen wearing horrible makeup. And not that it's even bad. It's like just weird. And like
it's very well applied
makeup
that is heinous in design.
It's so hard.
The execution, A+. Design, horrible.
Yeah.
You know what else about that too? All the people with the ape costume, well, not all of them. Some of them talk like people. And some of them talk like they have some cereal in their mouth or something.
Yes.
And like, it feels like that's definitely a limitation of the costume. And it's like, I don't know, just redo those lines or something, guys. It's not good. It's silly and weird.
What do you mean? We're best for the humans. The humans are our best friends. We love the humans so much. Why are the power with the humans?
Oh my God. Where was Michael Caine in this? This was before the paycheck era or whatever we're calling 2000s plus.
We're gonna be best friends with Jason Tatum. All humans. Some humans so good for someone.
Yeah, it's been a
just like that.
Yeah, I mean, and it really does. It's such a weird, but yeah, like some guys, like Michael Clark Duncan, none. And he had a different face than the other ones. I think it's Helena Bonham Carter's the worst one because she just has that big plastic thing over her face.
Yeah, that's terrible.
A little kind of coconut, you know. You kind of imagine it. Whereas some of the other people just have a lot of face makeup. Like Tim Roth sounds mostly fine.
It's the prosthetic that probably kills it, right? Like it's clear that Helena Bonham Carter's like wearing a huge prosthetic, where Michael Duncan just has like shit all over his face. So I guess like, I mean, I wonder if these actors are just like sitting in the makeup chairs like every day for like hours and hours, being like,
absolutely.
I think I saw in the trivia it took like 4 hours to apply this makeup.
Oh. That's awful. But they didn't have cell phones. What did they do?
Even if they did, you have to stay still. You can't be scrolling your phone.
I don't know.
They probably what did people do in the 2000s, 2001? Furby. They probably played Furby with their Furbies and Tamagotchis and stuff.
Tamagotchi, yeah, big one.
This is why Mike Myers needed that guy whose only job was to feed him chocolates.
I'll say, though, speaking of that, I spun the wheel again. One of Diggins is Paul Giamatti's favorite role. Some of them were probably more than thrilled to sit in that makeup chair. Tell this story. We love this story.
So Paul Giamatti has an interview that resurfaced recently because it wasn't a recent interview.
I think it was. It was one of those Vanity Fair pieces where they go over your whole career. I watched it yesterday to check because I described it to Hannah, and I was like, that can't be what he said. And he said something much worse. But
yeah. I guess it wasn't a recent interview then, where they were talking about his role in this movie. Apparently, he's a big Planet of the Apes fan, and he was excited when he got contacted to be asked if he wanted to be in this new movie. And his agents were telling them about it, and they were like, yeah, they want you to play like one of the apes, though. We're going to try and see if we can get you to be a human character instead. And he was like, are you kidding? I want to be an ape. If you make them cast me as a human, I'm going to kill all of you.
Going to fucking kill all of you. That was the quote. I was it's great. I mean, if you were in these, well, I don't know. What would you want?
I would want to be a monkey. It would be torturous to film, but it seems way more fun.
But
I guess the logic too is like, then maybe when people watch the movie years and years and years from now, they don't know it's you.
Yeah. Or if they do, they go, he was doing a great job and all that bullshit. Like we did with Paul Giamatti.
You get a pass. Yeah, you get a pass.
But I don't know. It just seems so awful. I understand. Like, I used to be you know, I mean, I still kind of am because it's like they're Hollywood stars. Who gives a shit? Like Jennifer Lawrence, you know, sit in the makeup chair for Mystique instead of Blue, whatever. But also it's like, it's got to be the most annoying thing on planet Earth. Just sitting down for 4 hours and getting blue on your, you know, body and little scales stuff. So like, I do think it's going to seem like something that's very silly in 10 years when we use AI to do it all. But
well, I mean, but look at these recent Planet of the Apes movies. They don't need makeup at all. They put
that's true.
You know, the Caesar's all mocap, right? You know, you just get Andy Serkis to get in his mocap suit and then you CG it. Like they're so many makeup artists. That's a job that was probably destroyed by like a computer animation. Was like all those makeup artists just boom.
They should
put it into computer now. Sorry.
They should try to sneak one person in a makeup suit into the new ones. You know,
just like you should buy one of the Congo suits.
That can't be it. Yeah. I mean, these suits gotta exist, right? Like, I feel like these are right up there with those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle suits that you see that have rotted into nothing, but like show up at like auctions for stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want one, but like that's pretty interesting to have.
Just have a rotting ape suit displayed in your home.
Yeah.
It's a good talking point.
Yeah.
This is my ape suit from the Michael Crichton classic Congo.
I mean, and like the other thing that's fun with this, speaking of plots, the whole idea of like they all have so much cool intricate armor and stuff. The first bit of the movie that's the titles is just looking at all the armor and going woo. So like,
yeah, right.
I do think they come up with a lot of cool visual stuff. It's just like, man, apes are not cool looking sometimes, and you can't do anything about that. Also, I looked this up. The tagline for this movie would suggest this came out in November. But so maybe there's both of them. So 2 taglines for this. The battle begins November 20th, and then on July 27th, take the planet back. So maybe that was like for the DVD or something. But I do think in a post 9/11 world, it would be a very different movie. Like seeing it at home. I don't know.
Yeah, I get that.
Feel a little strange.
Yeah, seeing release date July 27th, 2001.
Okay.
Yeah, seeing all these poor white people being enslaved would really just have a different tone.
They do. It is interesting how it's all white people mostly.
It's all white people.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that would be the biggest tragedy of all if white people were slaves.
Apparently. Now, but speaking of Paul Giamatti, like I was saying, before we move off of this, he's great in this movie. I love him. Do you guys all love him as well?
He's having such a good time. I can't begrudge him anything.
Yeah, it's good when the actor is like, you know, like really feeling it. Also, it's like that character. It's like it's this skeezy salesman who turns good, and it's like that's so fun.
Now, I mean, that's normally fun. I found it mentally difficult to get past the fact that this lovable old sleazebag is a slave trader.
He is a slave trader, but you know.
Maybe watch those Star Wars movies, and there's a lot of slavery in that.
Yeah. What about Watto? You gonna hold that against Watto?
Yeah, this is like a Watto of our time.
I do hold it against Watto.
Do you think that was the hot thing of 2001 or 1999? I guess is when that came out, like the 2000s. It's like, let's make a weird little slave trader guy.
Slave traders are so hot right now.
You know what the people are clamoring for? A wacky, lovable old slave trader.
Now I'm thinking about it. Who voiced Watto? Do we even know that?
No,
we must.
Sure. I mean, I'm sure we, as in society, know that. We, as in the 3 of us, don't.
We should. But anyway, I spun the wheel again. Landed on one of mine. This is just a question that I think we brought up before in similar movies that I just cannot stand, or not can't stand, but whenever I see it, my eyes roll to the back of my head. It's a question: did you tell anyone about this? Just don't say that. Just say lie or something. I don't know, man. Come up with something, because it always ends with murder, and it sucks. It sucks for him.
Did you tell anyone about this? Only my friends and family who know where I went and are expecting me to return.
Yeah. Yep. You want to talk to them on the phone right now? Here they
are. They also knew I was meeting you here, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also, like, why does he even do that?
I don't know. He's a bad guy. If we couldn't tell from all the slavery and war, he also will kill a guy who helps.
If you couldn't tell from the fact that he's basically a foaming at the mouth, like can barely contain his incredible hatred for humans.
And like, it's tough because the human is Mark Wahlberg. So like, it's a little relatable, you know, you're like, I get it, but I still on principle cannot abide this.
Right. But I'm just saying in the movie where humans are, again, slaves, when he's like, those slaves, I hate them so much. All the slaves deserve to die. I'm like, I don't think this guy's a good guy.
He hates slaves.
He does.
Or, I'm sorry, yeah, you know.
The slaves don't even have souls.
He's mad because his girlfriend loves the slaves more than him or something. And by girlfriend, I mean that other actor. But, you know, I don't know. I mean, again, it's Mark Wahlberg, so.
I will say there, and on the opposite end of the spectrum, you have like, so Helena Bonham Carter's character, who's, you know, put forth as like a human sympathizer, right? But it's almost like she gets just, you know, kind of close to Mark Wahlberg. It's like, oh my God, I love you.
Yeah.
Like she's in love with Mark Wahlberg.
I mean, as Nando pointed out in his summary, as I'm sure we might discuss in more detail later. I mean, any woman of any species who comes within close proximity to Mark Wahlberg just can't help themselves.
Even like a female lizard, they're like, oh, Mark Wahlberg.
Maybe. I don't know. Has he tried to fuck a Transformer yet? Have you had any near experiences with one where it's like,
well, they're all dudes. There's no way.
Yeah, they didn't put RC into
until Beast Wars, and he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If he had been around when RC was there, I'm sure. Yeah, she would have been like, "Oh, Cade Yeager, I am so in love with you."
So it's hypotheticals. Mark Wahlberg would have stopped 9/11 and would have fucked a Transformer. Oh, if only the time was right.
Hold on. I'm not saying he would have gone through with it, but the Transformer would have wanted to fuck him.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
But the super sexy hot lady would actually be the. Well, I guess he'd choose none because he loves Earth so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of expected he would take somebody with him. I don't know. I guess not. He probably expected to just die up in space because where did he think he was going? The spaceship he was going to go to is here. But I don't know. He's a weirdo. Also, I figured out this guy's name, the Watto. His name is Andy Secombe, Secombe.
Oh my God.
Not known for too much other stuff, but he does exist. Oh, wouldn't that be something?
Andy Samberg.
Ooh. I spent the wheel again. Landed on one of DJ's, I think, Being Savage with flawless makeup.
Oh my gosh.
You talk about the other people?
Big ups to Michelle who pointed this one out. So what was the name of the model in this movie again?
I don't know.
The character or the actress?
Either. I'll take either.
The actress is Estelle Warren. The character is Dana.
Let's go with Dana. So, Michelle came in like halfway through me watching it, and then it's one of the parts where like I think it's like maybe near the end where
and then she was so sucked in and she demanded you rewind it so she could watch the whole thing.
I love every Tim Burton thing regardless. She hears that Danny Elfman needle drop and she's all in.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember the score to this. Was there a lot of like I don't
probably.
You know, more than I thought there'd be.
Yeah. Mark Wahlberg's like, get that shit out of my ear. I don't want no diddy-diddies, please. I don't know. Maybe
like Danny Elfman.
Yeah.
So she goes, so wait. They're on a desert wasteland, but this woman has flawless makeup. And then like I look every shot, this woman has flawless makeup on. And it's like, they obviously put her in the like scantily clad rags because we all got the weird outfits, but of course she has the one where it's like it's very shapely, right? So it's a little tantalizing to all the boys watching the movie, right, as it were. I mean, or girls
well, that's not what they intended though. No girls can be aroused by this, only boys.
That's fair.
I mean, Mark Wahlberg is there, obviously. What else could anybody want?
Right.
You'd probably have to keep all the boys away with the big stick. Just get away. I'm for the ladies only, he said. We really have an opinion about Mark Wahlberg. Like, if we do 4 more Mark Wahlberg movies in a row, I think we're gonna have to like blame him for like the Hindenburg explosion. History's greatest villain, Mark Wahlberg.
I'm sorry, Nando. Calling out our weird thing with Mark Wahlberg now, like
I know,
multiple years into it.
It's just he's so nothing in this movie. I think that's it. I think in movies where he's got a lot of bullshit and he like eats takes the Coca-Cola or no, what was it? A Coors Light and pops it and drinks it in front of the Transformer. It's like, all right, Mark Wahlberg, you think you're cool. But in this movie, he's just doing so little that like it's almost kind of sad. And also, I like him in some movies. What's that one with Will Ferrell? I think he's great in that.
The Other Guys?
The Other Guys. Yeah, it's one of my favorite comedies that exists. If I ever meet him, hopefully that's the only sentence from this podcast he ever hears. I like The Other Guys a lot.
The burgers from Wahlburgers are fantastic.
They're expensive, but they're good.
I've had them and I don't hate them.
Me too.
Diggins, you were making a point.
Was I?
We're talking about the model with her scantily clad clothing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in their defense, kind of. That is, also what they did in the original.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Also the makeup. Did they give like the women all like perfect makeup?
Probably.
Too?
I mean, I'm sure they did. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I'm sure if you go back and look at that woman, she does not seem like a realistic representation of a mute, like animal, like barely above animal level intelligence wanderer in the wilds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm even like watching the trailer for the Kingdom of Planet of the Apes, and like the woman who's like,
they do have people in the new one.
But the woman who's like the main smart woman, she looks pretty haggard. Like she doesn't have like flawless, like the perfect lipstick and like not eyeshadow, but like whatever eyeliner and make like eyelash stuff, mascara.
I'm sure if we spoke with a woman who knows about these things, she could point out all of the subtle little makeup that actress is wearing that helps make her look better. But you're right that it's much less blatant.
Like the lips are pale, like the eyes are like sunken in, right? They look like people who have like lost in society, like whatever, the jungle people, right? Tarzans.
Little Tarzans.
But like they're all Tarzans.
There we go.
But
I was trying to think of an unoffensive word to refer to how these people are depicted, and Tarzans is actually pretty good.
Yeah, they're Tarzans, or they're whatever Raquel Welch was in that movie that's the poster at Shawshank Redemption. I'm assuming that's a similar Tarzanish kind of movie, but yeah, that's just what they got. Because they also have like Tarzan hair. A lot of them, they've got like
yeah. But like, I guess like you just watch. I don't know like when the line of demarcation is, but you watch a movie from 20 years ago, and then that's just what the women looked like. It didn't matter the setting; they had good lipstick and good eye makeup, and like that was that. And it wasn't jarring. But you go back and watch it; it's pretty jarring.
It's interesting
if you're my wife.
Well, and it's interesting because like
if
they
you're
do.
Who?
My wife.
Thank you. Very good. It's interesting because this is a movie like where they do. I don't know. They went out of their way to like give all the ape people, like, imagine sitting in the makeup chair for 4 hours as Helena Bonham Carter come out looking like an ape, and then seeing her be like, wait, why does she have lip liner? Like, you guys all too distracted by all my makeup to just let them get away with whatever they wanted? But I don't know.
It's like probably in like this woman's contract, it's like if I'm not seen with the minimum amount of makeup, then
I mean,
I walk.
She looks great. It's definitely, and she's got those humongous lips that are very. Remember when like Angelina Jolie was like a thing?
Yeah,
it's like it's very of the era.
I'm looking at this scene. It's the one like right when Mark Wahlberg is explaining his plan when they're outside. I think it's like the outside. It's like a shot of her face. Her lips like pop.
Yeah,
and it's like that's the one shot where you're like, yeah, no, these aren't like jungle people.
As
but
opposed
do they also lock?
I mean, he might want to.
Maybe Mark Wahlberg might find that out, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird that this character's in it at all. Why even bother?
You know what was weird with this character? I thought early she was gonna die. So when they're doing the slavery thing, they're branding the slaves.
The slavery thing.
The slavery thing. Go on over here, guys. It's slavery time. Let's do slavery thing.
You're in processing.
You rascal, your slavery thing.
Yeah.
They're doing their slavery in processing.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman who's the model, she gets branded. And I'm like, wow, that's nuts. They never do it to her. But then the next woman who's just like some rando, she gets saved by Helena Bonham Carter. And like, that's always in the reverse order. You save the woman who's like the pretty one who couldn't be untouched or whatever. But she gets branded. And they brand the humans, which is very bad.
Sometimes they brand the apes too.
And then it looks like a little tattoo.
It does look like a little tattoo.
And I mean that's in like a minor nitpick, but like so Helena Bonham Carter gets branded in the hand by her would-be ape boy toy, but she betrayed the apes, so now she's dead to them. I also don't know why he didn't kill her right there. He lets her go back.
Yeah, I don't know how she even got in. Like, I don't understand that scene at all. I was like, oh, she's defected. She's not part of the apes anymore.
Right?
But then the next scene, she's back with the apes.
Especially because, in that scene, you also see her cast a jealous look at Dana and Mark Wahlberg sharing a moment.
Right.
And you think, all her high-minded principles out the window when the man she wants to kiss doesn't return her affections. Perfidious women.
Mm-hmm.
But that's actually not what the movie's doing. So I guess good for them.
So she gets a brand on her hand, and just later in the movie, it looks like a little tattoo. Mm-hmm. It's like a little drawn-on like tattoo. It's like, well,
again, the makeup people are very busy with all the other stuff. I mean, I think Paul Giamatti's eyebrows just right.
I've been. If there's one thing on this show I've been, besides someone who doesn't get the tiebreakers and says things they're not supposed to, the other consistent thing that's been pointed out to me, I do not nitpick enough. So I need to up my nitpick quota. So when that chart comes out, I don't have like a little low line. I got a big boy line for all my nitpicks.
Get that big boy line.
You want a big throbbing line.
Stop it. Why would you?
I'm going to spin the wheel again. Landed on one of Diggins's. This is inheriting the Holy Family Glock. Do you want to? This is an insane scene.
I love this so much. Like, I'm so glad they made it to the wheel.
It's right halfway through the movie. You want to describe it?
So, General Thade is told that his father is dying. Not like he wasn't killed or anything. He's just sick and dying. So he goes to his bedside to speak with him. And in this moment only, we discover that General Thade and his family are direct descendants of Semos, the first ape, and kind of a combination of like first ape and Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Because like in their ape religion, they worship Semos and they think he will come back one day to do something.
Wait, aren't they all descendants of Semos then?
That's maybe something I was going to point out.
Oh, sorry. I just clicked to me that it's like, wait, what do you guys think you are?
Yeah, even if they're not all from Semos because of reasons we'll get to, like, surely there's more than one person who's descended from Semos.
Yeah.
Which is always my huge... I've mentioned this on the podcast before, whenever they're like, you're the last living descendant of X, who lived 10,000 years ago. I'm like, that's fucking impossible. There's simply no way.
Well, to be fair, everybody that we meet that is a descendant of Semos, which is just Charlton Heston and this guy, are incredibly unlikable and awful, and everyone hates them. So maybe just they're only able to get one mate, have one child, and then keep going. But like, there's no point where they have multiple children. Like, it's just... they're so unlikable that they're never gonna, make anything happen.
Could be.
We also don't know the lifespan of these apes, right?
I mean,
it's true. Could be longer or shorter than our apes.
That's true.
Right.
But anyway, so he goes to his dad's bedside, and his dad, who's Charlton Heston,
apparently,
is like, how we talk about how humans suck and we beat them up and we're cool and good? Actually, that's a lie. But also, humans used to be a lot stronger. You see that vase I keep over there? Just smash it on the ground. Just go ahead. We didn't design any other way for it to open. Just really go to town.
Yeah, this is Legends of the Hidden Temple. Just rip it up.
And he does that, and I thought like the ancient scrolls or like some holy relic that proves like something about the humans or whatever, which I guess is what it is. But I didn't. Not since lamb have I been more surprised when an animal man suddenly pulls out a gun.
Yeah. We should not have been surprised, though, because the Charlton Heston actor did get cold dead hands when he died, and that means he passed down his gun to the next guy. Like, that was probably in his contract. They were probably going to make it like a little hat or something from space, and he was like, no, let's have it be a pistol. I like those are actually cool. Good.
And I'm going to be real. I don't know what this is supposed to prove in the moment. He's like, the humans had awful weapons like that one. And I'm like, to Tim Roth, this is a broken piece of garbage.
Right.
Yeah.
This means nothing.
Like, yeah, I don't know. What, like,
maybe if it was like a Sega Dreamcast, it'd be like, oh my god,
such wonders contained within this box. Mm-hmm. The humans could do all this. Look, the controller, it has a little screen.
Ooh, whoa.
You can see your seaman when he is up in your aquarium. He can also swim down to the VMU. My Chow in Sonic Adventure. They can come with me to my friend's Dreamcast by traveling through the magic portal of the VMU.
A real thing I did. A real thing I did.
The humans, they're so much smarter than us. The ape mind could never have conceived of the VMU.
Did they make a game for this Planet of the Apes movie?
Yeah, man. They did.
Oh, sick.
Did they? Can we?
It was on the Dreamcast?
Is it on Game Pass? Can I?
I don't know. I didn't look into it.
It was. Well, no, actually, okay. Windows, Game Boy Advance, Color, PlayStation.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
This is great.
But it did exist. Seems weird. Seems pretty weird.
I really wish it was a Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's $6 on Amazon. Guys, only one left in stock.
Well, we got to get on that. Who knows when it'll ever come back?
What would it play it on? I don't even have a disc drive anymore. Like,
right.
And also, like, it's one of those games where there's like a Microsoft Windows and a PlayStation version and a Game Boy Advance version. I'm like, those are two different games then, because there's no way they're the same game. So
it's true.
They always did that where they would make like a fighting game and it'd be like, this one has Magneto in it. And I'm like, I know, but it's not as cool as this one because it's little tiny for phones. Like, it's weird. Yeah, I'm looking at the summary for this movie, and it looks fine. Or summary, excuse me. For the game, I honestly don't know what the gameplay of this even would be. Is it a shooter?
Right. Adventure game. I like when they just made games for every movie.
That was the best.
Yeah, we should go back to that era when the market was just flooded with horrible games that were shoveled out to be at the same time as movie releases.
And every so often, one was good. And then you had like a great little thing there.
Spider-Man 2?
Spider-Man 2, the Wolverine game for that movie. One of the Transformers games I really liked. There got to be other ones, right?
That's the list. I was going to say that's the list.
They make the Batman games weren't like based on that. Yeah. They made a bunch of like Batman the Animated Series games that were kind of fun. There must be other ones, right?
I'm sure there are some. I can't think of any of them.
Yeah. But yeah, they're all great. But you guys, next thing on the wheel, I spun the wheel again. This is one of let's do this one first. So one of Diggins's Deus Ex Machina. We're kind of at the end of this, but let's talk about the end.
Yeah, so the ending, as you kind of described, is they have the big fight. Mark Wahlberg strategically blows his plan. They knock down the Vanguard, like a bunch of monkeys ride out first to kill them. But they blow them over with the explosion, start braining them. There's like 9/10 of the monkey army left.
Yeah.
Who are way stronger, have actual weapons and armor and horses, and just have every advantage conceivable. there's zero chance that the humans could win this. But fortunately, almost exactly like a Greek play where this phrase comes from, a being just descends from the heavens to solve all of their problems, thus rendering everything Mark Wahlberg did, the whole movie, utterly meaningless.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that's when Pericles comes in, and everyone seeing Pericles decides that he's the second coming of Ape Jesus, and that means that humans are cool now. Slavery's over, guys. Ape Jesus showed up and he said, "No more slaves." And we were all like, well, if Ape Jesus says so.
I mean, I would probably help, It seems like at least one person didn't want to do slavery. Maybe a couple of them are like, "No, I love this, but I'm not going to do anything about it unless God tells me to or something."
I mean, I feel like from examples in human history, including recent human history, if Jesus himself descended from the heavens and had said, "I'm not crazy about this whole slavery thing, get rid of those slaves," then a significant portion of the population would have been, I mean, it's not really Jesus though, right?
Yeah, it's
I mean,
like a different
it
guy.
can't be. The real Jesus would love our slaves.
You think if Jesus Christ came back and said, "No more slavery, I'm not about that," obviously, people would be like, "That's not Jesus."
Yeah.
I mean, if he came back and said it now, I think people would be like, "You think we're doing a lot of slavery, Jesus?" Like,
yeah, I guess. Yeah, if he came back and said that now, then the people who I'm talking about would be like, he's talking about white slavery, obviously.
Yeah.
The worst thing that's ever happened. But if he came back at a time when slavery was a practice that was put into, that was something we were doing here in this country, I am fairly certain there would have been a significant portion of the country who would have been like, I mean, I know he descended from the heavens and all, but can't be Jesus.
Oh, no, I think that's absolutely, I think that'd be true no matter what Jesus did. You would have people being like, "Well, that's not Jesus though, right?"
Walk on water, raise people from the dead, cure the blind. We don't have a lot of lepers running around, but
we're getting
all
some.
that. No?
If he came down from the heavens and said, "Everything you, the person hearing me speak right now, is doing is totally fine. I'm okay with. You don't have to change anything," I think that is the only circumstance in which everyone would be like, "It's the real Jesus."
Yeah.
Man, maybe I'm way too optimistic.
I don't know.
I would change my ways for Jesus. I'm gonna come out.
Would you though? What if Jesus came down and was like, "I'm Jesus. I want that slavery to be back." Would you be like, "I guess Jesus told me to"? You would. I feel like you'd just be like, "I don't know, Jesus. That's probably not you. I don't buy it."
I was gonna say, I'm like, Jesus.
Okay.
Did you write these books or what?
He's like, "Yeah, I'm from the zeros. I don't know things."
a more plausible example, perhaps. Although, yeah, good point about the times he was from. He might be like, "Where'd all the slaves go?"
Yeah.
What if he came down? He was and Jesus was like, "Hey, DJ, a lot of sex with your wife that's not for the purpose of procreation. Got to cut that shit out."
I don't believe. I believe in a progressive Jesus. I don't believe in a regressive, suppressed Jesus.
But I'm saying a situation. You said if Jesus himself
So you would be like, "No, I
came from the heavens and would say something, that you would change your ways." I'm saying Jesus himself has come from the heavens and said this to you.
He'd be like, "Well, that's not technically Jesus because I believe in progressive Jesus, so I'm going to wait for him to show up."
You're doing the thing I would say right now.
But I'm doing the cool version.
Yeah, he's doing it for the right reasons, not to promote slavery.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not saying you're as bad as the slavery people who would do it. Absolutely not. But I think it proves my point that people would do it.
My progressive Jesus is really cool, right? He hangs out with poor people, He probably had tons of sex, right? He wanted to
Getting
live the
it
full
daily
human
and nightly and ever so
experience.
rightly. That's the Bible I like to read, if you ask me. Is that a thing about Jesus we kind of believe? I know he hung out with poor people and stuff and sex workers or whatever, but I don't remember him constantly.
Yeah,
getting
actually,
some.
you know how there's like excise books of the Bible that like, you can go back and read. There's one of them that's Jesus's little black book.
Yeah,
That's just a record of every single time he boned down.
yeah. It's this is the gospel according to Pootie Tang, one of the 13th apostle or whatever who they left out because of well, you know why. And yeah, it's just saying it's a whole, every page is just Jesus is at it again. My boy Jesus. I mean, he's a celebrity, so he probably would have a pretty good. I mean, I don't know. Did they have like casual sex back then? Was that a thing? They have like rock stars that come in and they'd be like, everybody wants, or would that be so weird to even imagine? I
struggle to imagine there was any period of human history in which there were not, whether or not it was common.
Mm-hmm.
I'm certain in every period of human history, there were people who just wanted to have sex with each other.
Yeah, I think that's probably true.
Guys, I figured it out. It's on Quora. Did Jesus have any female lovers during his life? Scott Chasen. No, he did not have sexual relations with anyone of any gender ever.
All right, Bill Clinton.
Yeah, I don't buy it. I think Scott had sex with Jesus
in his entire infinite existence.
I love the any gender, like, just to clarify.
Mm-hmm. Just like, so you think you're getting me on a gotcha, and you're like, then gay Jesus must be real? I'm clarifying right now.
Yeah,
no genders.
So, like, and I know, like, there's like one of those controversies of like, there's actually this person that he was with maybe or something. But like, yeah, I feel like there's like so much times in history where it's like, oh yeah, and they were all doing orgies over there. Like, yeah, they didn't really talk about it, but like that was orgy time. And that was like, yeah, like ancient Greece,
there's stuff
right?
like that in the Bible.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So Jesus was like, I mean, I get it. It would be, you know, probably a lot of disease. Well, probably not as much disease as there is now. So
there was way more disease than there is now.
Oh, really? But like sexually transmitted diseases, were they?
Oh, I'm sure.
I don't know about that specifically. I do know syphilis is very old.
Could Jesus catch an STD though?
Well, he could cure it.
Yeah, he's probably good, but he has to probably call God and be like, God, I need you to do another cure. And he's like, what was it this time? Nothing.
Do you think
Jesus?
Yeah.
Do you think if Jesus had sex with you, it would cure your STDs?
Yeah, if he wanted it to. I think it's up to him.
I assume it would kill me.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
Like it would be so divine, like I would just die from the divinity of it.
Well, wait, hold on. Is it like contact with Jesus would like melt your flesh, or is it like you would achieve such a state of perfect pleasure that your spirit would leave your body?
I think it's that you have sex with Jesus and go straight to heaven.
Yeah.
Which like that's like a win-win, right? Like
I feel like that should be a loophole. If you can seduce Jesus, free ticket to heaven.
They don't want to encourage that. Are you kidding me? When Jesus comes back, I'm sure there's already a lot of people that are going to want to sleep with him. But then there would also be like all the people who are like, I have done a lot of war crimes. Maybe, just maybe. If I put on my Sunday best and I could skip the line into heaven. Like, Jesus doesn't want their attention, I assume. I think Jesus wants those people to run away, assuming he's going to cut their heads off with a big sword or something. I don't know how the Bible works with like, I know there's like a lot of swords.
There are a lot of swords.
None in this movie. Why did these guys not have swords?
Didn't they at some point have swords?
I mean, not really.
Yeah. It's not. One of Jesus's disciples like cut off a dude's ear.
Yeah,
we're back to the
movie. Back to the monkeys.
Oh shit!
But you're right. You know, there were. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of swords in the Bible, but it doesn't seem like very many of these guys got swords. Everybody's got
understand your
sticks
confusion,
and clubs.
DJ. We were talking about Jesus for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. There's a movie we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? Oh my gosh.
I don't think Jesus would like this movie either. I don't think.
No, he'd hate it.
Wouldn't have been his thing.
Absolutely not. They had some swords.
Okay.
Yes. But like, you think they all should have had swords?
I mean, if anything, I feel like Mark Wahlberg should have been like, oh guys, swords. Like, here's one of our humongous advantages that we can come up with in a day.
They had armor, so they clearly had like forging ability.
Right, yeah.
I want to see the monkey blacksmith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Where are they at?
Yeah.
And why do they need armor if there are no swords?
I
assume sword came first, then armor.
I guess.
Like, oh my god, we're being killed with all these swords.
They don't even have bows and arrows.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with these guys?
Useless.
Yeah.
No.
And if anything, it's quite cumbersome because most of their fighting they do just like punching each other in the face, right? Like
they still jump real good with armor.
Yeah,
though.
that's true.
They get some vert, even though they're wearing that armor.
Like, and also, if this is another planet, where did the horses come from?
Yeah.
I just thought of this.
Were they building horses also? Like, are there bigger pods that are piloted by horses that on the space station? That like we weren't even able to get the monkeys off the ground. There's no way we're figuring out this horse thing, but we do have some horses.
Was this planet exclusively inhabited by horses, and then the apes came and take over?
Yeah, they left it out of the movie because they felt it complicated things too much. But after the apes killed the humans, they actually ventured out and they found a whole horse person civilization that they then also destroyed.
Yes. Yeah.
But they didn't do it by blowing them up. They did it by the traditional way with like alcoholism. And, you know,
and smallpox.
So, I was going to say celebrity or something. What do you use to kill a BoJack Horseman? Like he dies from his own, you know, his own hubris, I guess, or something.
Addiction, depression, and a series of his own bad choices that have irreparably harmed people he knows.
That's really it. They just let the horses do their own thing until they self-destruct because all of the horse people are, you know, deeply troubled.
There were so many different versions of horsing around. That just like they all got too famous.
It was all crossover episodes. Like it was just boom, 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 boom,
boom.
It
was horsing around meets horsing around.
Yeah. So I spun the wheel again. Speaking of that, landed on one of Diggins's, Mark Wahlberg's interspecies polycule. Is it a polycule if do the women have to be in, you know, part of it? Like, I don't know how this works.
I'm not polyamorous. I find the whole idea exhausting. For me, that is. If anyone who wants to, like, you know, as long as it's all consenting adults, do whatever you want. But for me, it's like keeping up with one person's a lot of work. So I could be wildly wrong about this. I don't believe in a polycule that every person has to be dating every other person.
Yes, according to these graphs I'm looking at, that is correct.
Looking at some graphs.
It's little dots. It's not a fun graph or anything cool. Oh, this might be a graph of like molecules. Oh, yes, it's molecules. There's other meanings for polycule. Gender and sexuality. There we go. That's the one I want.
Actually, those are also molecules.
Ooh,
weird.
Sexy molecules.
Yeah, they've determined the gender molecule.
Yeah.
The gender particle that determines your gender.
It's very important, yeah.
So yeah, like I think that would count as a polycule then, what you're describing. And you know, good for him, I guess.
I just find it so funny that they like couldn't decide or just felt that the raw sexual charisma of Mark Wahlberg was so powerful that they had to have both women fall in love with him.
I mean, can you blame him?
I can blame them. I could definitely blame the ape woman. It's so weird looking, man. It's just like the weirdest part of the whole thing, which is shocking. That, like, I think they could have gotten away with not putting that in this movie and it wouldn't have been so bizarre. But it's the last thing you see in the movie, basically, is Mark Wahlberg kissing the ape. And then he kisses the girl, gets in his car, or gets a spaceship, then goes to the Abraham Lincoln. But, like, yeah, I don't know. Do you think... I'm sad Paul Giamatti didn't get a kiss. Like, everybody should have just put one on him.
That's who he should have kissed.
Yeah.
Do you think after Mark Wahlberg left, Dana went up to Ari and they were like, I didn't know he'd do both.
Yeah.
That's great.
Probably.
I thought we were going to get chosen. Like one of us would get picked. Also, he left us. What a dick.
Yeah. Again, I'm like, he's going back to the person planet, right? Like, it seems like what's her name would have been curious about that, but she would have been like, it would have been bad if she went. But B, yeah, just take the person then. Her dad already died just now, and the brother's annoying, so we don't want more of him. It's like, get off that planet. That's your only option. And yeah, there's no other seats and the whole thing crashes as he would have exploded, but whatever. Better than nothing.
Yeah. I mean, anyone with Mark Wahlberg would have died because there's only room for one person to be strapped in. So they would have been just like floating free in the cockpit.
Yeah. God, the outfit they gave this actress is terrible. Like, it's so much. Yeah, man. Also, her kiss with Mark Wahlberg isn't as good as the kiss of the Apes. Like, the Apes one is more like passionate. I feel like he's more in it.
You think with Dana it was a pity kiss?
Yeah, I mean, she kisses him. She kind of pulls him in for the kiss, and I feel like it's like, well, I'm not gonna throw her away, and no,
yeah, it's like,
that'd be
I'm
so
leaving
awkward.
forever. I guess to not make it awkward, I can give her this kiss.
Yeah.
If you were about to leave a planet forever and someone you weren't that into tried to kiss you, would you go through with it just to not make things awkward?
It depends.
I mean, anyone willing to show me any level of affection, I am grabbing by the throat. So yeah,
it depends on like how
the opportunity, not the person. To be clear.
But what's the chances that, like, if I've seen Planet of the Apes, I realize I might be going back to Planet of the Apes. Like, I think there's a good chance I'm not leaving this planet. So I don't want to come back and then it's like, oh, hey, everybody, you're all here still. Cool. I guess I live here now.
Well, I'm stipulating that in this situation, you believe you are leaving forever. Maybe you aren't, but you believe that you are.
I don't want to encourage it for the rest of the people at Apes and stuff. I think that's probably where I draw the line. I mean, honestly, yeah. You know what? Absolutely not. Because even the people must smell horrible. Everybody in this movie must smell so bad that I could not even be anywhere near attracted to any of them enough to kiss them. Oh my God, yeah. I've never even smelled an ape, but I can't imagine it's good. But Tarzan's must smell horrible. Like, ugh. It's like a fucking Yu-Gi-Oh tournament in the whole planet. Can you imagine?
Did you see that?
I did see that article. I read about it this week. Did you see this, DJ?
No.
I mean, Diggins, you want to describe it? Because I think I kind of know it, but I feel like I'm going to part of it up.
There was like a Magic tournament or something in Japan. Some card game. I think it was Magic. And a guy was telling a story about how he met this woman who was playing Magic for the first time. And like she was all excited about it. And then he saw her, like, after she lost, she left halfway through. And he was like, you know, our community is just not very welcoming to newcomers. I felt so sad that, you know, like whatever happened, she had to leave, or she felt like she had to leave. And this like went viral. And then somebody responded who was like, I think this might be me based on the description. It's so nice to see everybody with such kind responses. But I didn't leave because I lost. It just smelled so fucking rank in there that I had to leave.
We're actually not talking about the same story then. Mine was about a Magic the Gathering tournament or Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. Actually, it might have been Yu-Gi-Oh that had to shut down because of smell and complaints from the smell of, And then that Reddit thread had a lot of other people that, I ran a GameStop or like a game store, and we would have a sign every time we started one of these. Just, you know, it's not good.
You must shower within the past 3 days to enter.
Mm-hmm. This is what we can use for that Twister thing. We'll just fill it with that spray on deodorant, and everybody who comes into the Magic the Gathering tournament has to stand in it for 2 seconds or something.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
that's a really good idea.
Listen, as a man who will be smelly if he does not take precautions, I don't know how these people lack the shame to do this.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I envy them, you know, that freedom.
They're free.
Yeah. it's the life. I spent it one last time, landed on one of DJ's is, your religion is a lie. We do have to talk about, because he's both a figure of their war and stuff, and also their Jesus. But like, where do they go from here?
Yeah, so it's they think that they're what's the name of their like Jesus figure?
Simos. Sibeliu.
But it's actually
Yeah.
What a twist.
So this is weird.
Mm-hmm.
The Semos is actually one of the apes that were like in captivity.
Yeah.
One of the 20 or so apes who were in
Yeah.
captivity, as well as the 20 or so humans who were on the space station, both of which, even though there was a violent uprising that killed most of the humans, even and above and beyond this small population, both created stable, long-lasting populations with great genetic variance.
Right. Woohoo. So that's one of those apes who they think Semos is. In reality, Pericles comes, right? Pericles?
Yeah.
Pericles comes down in his little rocket, and they think he is Semos. But what pops out is like a little dumb ape, like not an evolved ape, right?
Yeah.
Like this ape from Earth. So how does this not shatter their reality?
I think it kind of does, because I think Adar, who has been a very religious ape in the whole movie, is like when Thade is like, help me kill all the humans, Adar's like, everything I knew is a lie. So
I mean, he takes it really well.
He
for
absolutely
his entire reality being shattered.
Yeah, no, he takes it in stride. He takes it like a champ.
I mean, good for him. Like that, because that's nuts.
Apes are just all follow Stoicism. They all practice the philosophy of Stoicism. They all have read the works of Marcus Aurelius and have been like, all the circumstances of my life that I cannot change, I must simply accept.
I mean, it's like, good for you, man. It's like, that's good. But it just, because I know the what was it, Deus Ex? What'd you call it, Diggins?
I called it a Deus Ex Simiae, which is God from the monkey.
Like, it's interesting that like that was how, like, that's what stops the conflict, because Mark Wahlberg's plan kind of sucks.
Oh, it's horrible. Yeah.
It's the worst.
Like, can we talk about that for a second? So the plan is use the remaining fuel that's left in the rocket to make like a big old rocket explosion and just burn the first wave of apes. But like that first wave of apes is nothing.
Yeah.
And then the plan is just like lose to the apes. Like if Pericles doesn't come, they're fucked.
Also, not to burn all the apes, to knock all the apes down.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And also, not just fuel, nuclear something. So they all have fallout and stuff to deal with after that.
Well, okay, I do think the fuel is traditional rocket fuel.
Oh.
And like the electronics and stuff on the ship are nuclear powered.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Now, I'm pretty sure an unattended nuclear reactor for thousands of years, it seems like, would almost certainly have broken down and just like released untold amounts of radiation if it was just sitting there for no maintenance for thousands of years. But, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Exactly right.
All right. Well,
no, but yeah,
so,
it's weird.
I just wanted to point that one out.
Because it does feel like, having watched it and knowing kind of what that big explosion was, I'm like, oh, so the plan is to get for Mark Wahlberg specifically to draw out this one guy who hates Mark Wahlberg and like get on a horse, and then he follows him, and then we explode him, and then everybody quits. But they didn't do that.
It's like, and then what?
Yeah,
So
that's the
it's like,
smart version of that plan, where you're like, if you cut off the head of the snake, maybe it will cause confusion in their ranks and we can pull out a win.
Yeah. But I mean, Mark
or,
Wahlberg,
some other dumb
Yeah,
bullshit.
that's the thing is, like, even though he's an astronaut, he's just not very smart.
Yeah, there were probably some apes in that meeting that were like, but actually, and he was like, no. I mean, he is the leader. He's got leadership skills. And he gives them a great rousing speech with one of the worst lines in any of these I've ever heard, which I wrote down.
Please.
He just says, and it's worse in terms of just like, you could try a little bit. The line is, sometimes even can, here we go, I'm trying it again. Sometimes even if you can make a difference, okay? It just ends with okay question mark. It's talking to one of the apes. I don't remember which one. The one that's from Mortal Kombat, probably. But like, I don't know, man. Like Mark Wahlberg, that accent that Andy Samberg did on SNL was perfect. And it didn't seem like it was. It felt like a bad accent like some of these are. But it was like, no, he just is that. Like, this ends just like his when he talks to little sheep or whatever on SNL. It was perfect.
Also, I do think it is they've made it somewhat realistic in that the vast majority of these humans who are inspired by him and want to be led by him because of his incredible story have never met, seen, or heard him ever.
Yeah. I'm unclear on whether they can all speak English or just a couple of them can. Seems like most of them can, but also I don't see why.
I mean, it seems like they can because no ape is ever freaked out by a person talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they know that's a thing people can do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is interesting. But yeah, it's weird. It's a great movie. That's pretty much the end. I mean, we've already talked about how the ending makes no sense. It's really nothing. It's just bad. It doesn't make any sense.
It's completely baffling. It's like, I don't know, if Tim Burton really hated making this movie and this was his fuck you, burn it all down, then that's cool. There's no other version of this that I think is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I was there though. I kind of wish I could have seen this in a theater for the first time and watched everybody else also kind of try to figure out what the fuck it means.
That would have been great.
Did this do well at all in the box office?
Kind of did okay. It was expensive. It probably made its budget back. I think it made about 300 million, but it was at least 100 million. It was an expensive movie.
It didn't do well enough that they ever made any more.
Yeah, it definitely was a disaster in terms of the cachet of this franchise.
Oh yeah, no, critically it was a huge bomb.
Yeah.
And that was back when producers cared about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so here we go. All right. Budget. Okay. That was pretty close. It made $362 million worldwide on $100 million budget. So it did okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And but yeah, I mean, I can't imagine Mark Wahlberg would have come back, and also what would a sequel of this even been,
Yeah, that's fair.
Going back and figuring out what the fuck's going on with Abe Lincoln or whatever. Pretty good. Abe Lincoln, right? Yeah. Just because I'm curious about this, you want to take a guess at the box offices of the other three of these, the more recent three, how how much money they made worldwide? So Rise, Dawn, and War. Because this is strange to me. You want to take a guess? What's the box office of Rise of the Planet of the Apes worldwide?
Is that the first one?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with. I feel like you're surprised because it's less than this one, so I'm gonna go with 200 million.
DJ.
I want to go less. Let me say a cool 100 million.
Nope, 481 million. So it was a pretty big hit. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, the sequel. What do you think for this one?
I'll go 250.
350.
710. This is a huge hit.
Whoa.
Including, so it's 200 million North America, 500 million other territories. So huge hit internationally.
That's
the other one also had big international numbers, but not the same. So 481, 710. War for the Planet of the Apes, the last one, Woody Harrelson or whatever. How much did that one make?
God, I feel like it can't have kept going up, right?
Yeah, right. Let's
600 million.
Let's say 5.
Yeah, it's closer to 5. It's 490 million.
Okay.
So it really kind of something about Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. We were going crazy for it. We loved it so much. And then the next one came out. We were like, I think we're good. And they stopped making them for a while. Good on you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
By the way, did you guys know that this movie is how Tim Burton and Helena Bonham Carter met?
Get the fuck out. Seriously?
Yeah. Tim Burton saw her in that sexy ape makeup every day and was like, I can't not fuck her.
I have to tell Michelle this trivia because I was like, well, she's in all the movies, so of course she's in this one.
Maybe that was the thing. Maybe they did originally have very attractive ape makeup, and he's like, "Oh man, otherwise Mark Wahlberg will be really into her. But if we make the ape makeup hideous after this is over, then I'll be able to."
Oh yeah, actually,
score a date.
I think I have a picture of the original Helena Bonham Carter makeup for this movie, now that you mention it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Diggins has all the inside info.
Yeah, I've got it right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this in the chat. This is going to be an incredible bit for our audio podcast.
I can't wait.
But you can go ahead and see that there.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Wahlberg could not say no to that. I think it would have been hard to explain the shirt. Like,
yeah, it's true.
Well, that was earlier in the process before they changed her name.
And maybe that would have been like, maybe the shirt, like maybe that would have been part of a longer word or something, but it got ripped off. So it just read candy, but it was like more, that would be like the Candia's, engine room or something. By the way,
excuse me, be clear to the listeners, I have just shown them a picture of Candy Kong from Donkey Kong 64, which if you don't know what I mean by that, make sure no one is looking at you and then look it up.
NSFW.
But I was going to say the thing that remember when they're like they go in the ship for the first time after like rediscovering it, and there's like shit on the monitor, but it's not like dust like usually in these. It's like stuff he has to peel off. And there's like a full 5 seconds of him peeling it off.
It's like hardened clay or something.
Yeah, it's like a layer of sediment has formed over these screens, which is not unrealistic if it's been there for thousands of years, but also everything still works perfectly. Yeah. Even though they're like CRTs.
Those things hold up,
It's true. It's true.
But yeah, anything else about this one?
I was made upset by this movie because it's so bad.
I mean, I got in my minimum viable population talk, so I'm good.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, is it woke?
Oh,
I mean, it thinks slavery's bad.
Yeah.
But it also thinks slave traders are lovable rascals.
Yeah. I mean, it's a polycule right off the bat.
Ooh.
But so is Mormons.
Yeah, and relations then, between a good pure white man and a degenerated ape lady.
And also, like, I do think there's something to be said about how much guns are cool and sweet and important. Like,
they are cool.
Our human having a gun is a big deal.
Yeah, but a human having a gun is also kind of like dangerous and bad and evil. Or rather, guns are, at least.
Guns are in the wrong hands. It's the only thing that can stop a bad ape with a gun.
In the filthy ape hands.
Yeah, the damn dirty ape hands. And I'm thinking about it also, like, the good guy. Wait, no, this movie is not woke. The bad guy becomes Abraham Lincoln, which means in the view of this movie, Abraham Lincoln is a bad guy.
I mean, I think it's more meant to be like how humans are slaves in this. Like Thade came and freed all of the ape slaves. Even though
this movie is so bad. This is like the worst thing I've ever.
I would not consider how we treat apes to be slavery.
That's true.
We don't make them work.
Make some of them work. We make them go die in a spaceship, apparently. That's the main way.
Send them off, and I don't care.
And they have to hang out with Mark Wahlberg, human's worst person ever
actually, that's
existed.
true. I guess we do make some apes be actors. Yeah. So actually, maybe we... I'm not getting into this.
They hang out with...
I don't think this movie's woke. It doesn't feel...
It's Mark Wahlberg, though. And it made a lot of money. What more do you need?
Yeah, and the heroes in the military. He's an Air Force pilot.
Yeah,
I feel like Mark Wahlberg in this movie must be the guy who in every other like sci-fi movie like this would be like the one military guy they're forced to take that nobody likes, and he's a hothead who almost gets them all killed.
I mean, he totally gets them all killed. It's awesome how much he does
get them. Yeah, so this is just a regular sci-fi movie from that guy's perspective.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's a good call out.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of woke, but probably not that woke. It does think it's very woke.
I'm having a hard time getting past the like really explicit and obvious portrayal of slavery as bad.
Yeah, it's fair.
It's hard for
Movie
me.
has so much fun with it. Yeah,
It's hard for me not to say that that's.
Yeah,
you know.
secret woke message by Tim Burton. You know what? You sold me, Diggins. I think you convinced me.
Well, I wouldn't call it secret.
No, yeah, you got to watch it a couple times to pick up on that whole "don't let slavery happen" message of the movie. Yeah. Well, Planet of the Apes. It only gets better from here, probably. I haven't seen anything about the new one. Is it better than this? Probably, right?
It'd be hard not to be.
Yeah, I haven't seen any reviews.
Well, it's not coming out for like another month.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Are we? I was going to ask. Are we doing more of these?
God, no. I mean, we could, but also after this one, it's like I never want to see another ape for as long as I live.
Also, we've already seen the worst one.
Yeah. Although watching the original might be pretty rough. Like, it's not a good movie. It was a popular movie, but like, it's not like Jaws where people bring it up as like, great cinema.
Yeah, it'll probably be. I think at best it's probably like a fun, campy B movie.
Yeah, I bet that's right.
Yeah, I mean, hey, people listening in the Discord, if you have thoughts, you can let us know. Also, I realize this while I was reading in the Discord. Not everyone who's listening might know how to get to the Discord. Nando, can you tell people how to get to the Discord?
How to get to the Discord? I've never even
how to get to the Discord.
About that. Yeah, I would imagine the best way to do it is to find any of my more recent videos, and then if you look at them, they usually have the link in them. There's probably like a little code or something, but I don't know what it is. I should put it. See, the thing with the podcast is like they don't, unless maybe there is a way to do this. Sometimes all right. Well, when I make YouTube videos, there is like a standard description that comes with all of them that you could set, so you don't have to go through that every single time.
Right.
If they did that for this, I could put that in here. I don't know if they do though. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, so this is from our camera. Things that didn't work. Googling Mostly Nitpicking Discord. Anything on the Mostly Nitpicking website. Here I found Reddit posts that
apparently.
Here I found Reddit posts that it was a sub-channel of the Nando V Movie server. Googling Nando V Movies Discord and following any direct links from Reddit threads. Looking on the Nando V Movies Patreon page for a link. Plenty of info on getting titles. No info on the server itself that I can find. The landing page of the Nando V Movies YouTube channel. The links on said landing page. Things that did work. The tiny Discord icon under See More fold on an actual video that I had to start.
There you go. It's job. Tiny icon.
So shout out to you, Arkammer.
I'm gonna look at this.
Funniest thing I read.
We'll find some way to make this easier.
Or we won't. I don't trust us.
That's true.
We're like the least trustworthy
we'll
people.
We'll think about it more than not at all.
That's true. You would think there would be like a standard thing. There does not appear to be.
I mean, we're so active on X, guys. Just at Nitpicking Pod. We're still there in theory.
Oh yeah, I'll never.
I call it X. Ew, Twitter. How dare I? You guys should be so upset with me for that.
It's pretty cool to call it Twitter.
It's the real name.
Yeah. Speaking of things to name, do you guys want to get to our classic segment and name some things?
Yeah.
I would love to do that.
All right. DJ, do you have anything to recommend to the fine people?
I do. Unfortunately, this is gonna be like my coldest rec week because I didn't see a lot this week.
Worse than bread?
How long do I have to like live with that? The
I don't know.
Thing?
Forever, probably.
I still occasionally bring up you saying ducks can't fly, so.
Oh my god, that was a terrible one too. Okay. So no, not worse than bread. This is a little Netflix ditty that I've only watched one episode of. So I just want to caveat: if it's bad, I've only watched one episode.
You can't get mad at him.
Yeah.
If it's bad, you can't get mad at him.
Yeah, don't come at me with actually blah blah blah. I only saw one episode. And I was telling the guys before this, I still gotta finish Scott Pilgrim. I still gotta finish Invincible. I still gotta finish there was a third
X-Men.
one in there. X-Men 97, right? But whatever. But I watched a little anime called Delicious in Dungeon.
Oh yeah.
Have either of you heard of this?
The
I
thing
heard
I
about it
wrecked a
from
few weeks
Diggins.
ago?
Yeah.
No, you didn't. Shut up. No, you didn't.
I did.
100%.
I not only wrecked it when the anime came out, months earlier than that, I wrecked the manga when I read it.
I don't believe you. Are you
He
serious?
did. It's the only reason I know it exists. Although I do think some other people have talked about it recently.
I guess it could save us a lot of time. But, well, then, look, I'm vindicated because Diggins liked it, and he probably watched the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, it's great. Like, you disclaimer rescinded. Delicious in Dungeon is great.
Oh, yeah, awesome. So, I don't know if I should explain it again.
Go,
but
you
Yeah,
clearly don't remember anything I said, so go ahead.
Quick synopsis. Well, again, I don't know much, but it's about from what I've gathered so far, these people that are they're dungeon crawling in this like very long dungeon, and to survive along the way, they must eat and cook the monsters, which I think is a pretty fun premise. So it mixes all that fun like foodie stuff with anime with some dungeon crawling, which I like. So yeah, and it's very good, and the animation's pretty good too.
Gorgeous food.
So, oh my god, I see. I was never able to watch like the anime that are just food ones. I know there's that like really like popular one where everyone like orgasms when they eat. But
excuse me.
It's like, give me this is the thing. Don't make me Google this. This is like a thing.
I'll Google it.
It's like the food is so good. They just like
you're talking about Bible
Food
Black.
Food Wars. I can never get into like Food Wars. But this like with like the dungeon stuff, it's fun. Dickens, is the manga done or is it like still ongoing?
Manga's done.
Okay. So this will be like, I guess, is there more than this one season? Or is the whole thing?
Oh yeah, there's way more.
Okay.
They've done like maybe a quarter of that story.
Okay, but the manga is done. Okay. All right. Well, I like it, and now I'm gonna watch more. Now that I can't, I usually remember your Rex. I cannot.
DJ, that's also a blatant lie, as you have on many occasions wrecked things I've already wrecked, or Nando has already wrecked.
Doesn't this go to the poor memory thing though? This is like a very good case.
DJ, like, I've never denied that you have a poor memory. I have denied that it is an unreasonable expectation for you to remember things.
Well, all right. Not gonna refute. But Delicious in Dungeon, it's great. It's on Netflix. Diggins wrecked it. It's obviously good. And memory's difficult. You know, maybe I have slow forming dementia or something.
And if you watch the dub, I mentioned this when I wrecked it. Sungwon Cho, or Pro ZD, as you may know him, voices Senshi, the main like cook character.
I don't know any of the names that you just said. None of them.
You don't know the name of Senshi, the one of the main characters of the show you just wrecked.
That is correct.
Cool.
That is correct.
So while this has been going on, I've been watching a clip from that show, Food Wars, and it is weird. That show is very weird. Don't anybody watch it. It's not cool. Not your stuff. This is the thing, man. Anime, every so often, I'm like, maybe it's cool.
I'm not going to lie, Nando. I was kind of hoping I got you with Bible Black.
Which one's that?
Don't.
Oh, okay. I mean, listen, I'm going to. But Food Wars was much worse than I was expecting. Yeah.
Because I'm surprised you're not familiar with Food Wars. And,
the name sounds familiar now that you mention it, but I've never seen it.
Well, my description was pretty spot on.
Yeah, it really is. Like when the women eat the food, their clothes fly off. It's pretty bizarre.
Well, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. They love it so much.
And this is like one of like the gold medals for like food anime. So
I mean, the food looked cool. The parts where they showed it and they got really into the food, they were like, "Yeah, it looks like good food."
Well, imagine that, except instead of people's clothes flying off and orgasming when they eat the food, they just go, "That's pretty good."
Why bother? Yeah. Now that I know the options.
And also, they fought a monster before they made the food.
Yeah.
I think the dungeon crawling mixed with the cooking is cool. So, anyway, that's my rec. Diggins, would you like to rec something that I'll rec in a couple weeks?
I would be shocked if that ends up being true. Because I'm wrecking something that I'm not sure it is even possible to see outside of New York City right now.
Oh.
See, I went to the IFC Center.
Oh.
Here in New York City. And I saw a little movie that is playing there after, I think, 2 years since it was made.
I know what this is.
Like, ran into lots of legal trouble, like actually getting put out for reasons that will be very obvious. But they finally worked out something that it's playing at IFC, and I'm not sure if it's playing anywhere else. But if it is, good. Because I watched a little thing called The People's Joker.
And I thought that regular Joker was the People's Joker because, he understands the common man and the people. So I can't imagine what this is.
Yeah, so this is it's a very indie, like crowd-funded movie by Vera Drew, who is a filmmaker and a trans woman, which I mentioned because it is pretty central to what this movie is, which is it's sort of a parody of Joker, the Todd Phillips movie, where Vera Drew herself plays the title character. She plays Joker the Harlequin, as she's called. That's like equal parts kind of like late night Adult Swim meta irony humor, absurdist nonsense, deeply personal memoir, and like a genuinely fairly moving like story of self-acceptance of like kind of her journey as a trans woman told through this completely like mashed up DC universe story of her becoming the Joker. Like, Batman already exists. She gets into a queer relationship with Jason Todd. Her best friend is the Penguin. And it's all very loosely based on Joker and other like DC properties. Like the Jason Todd she dates is Damaged Joker.
Oh, very good. So it's like that fan theory.
Yeah, it's like that. For those of you listening, I moved my hand across my forehead when I said Damaged to indicate the tattoo that Jared Leto Joker had.
Right, because all Jokers are damaged because they believe the crime is good.
Exactly.
That is damaged.
But it's just this like really audacious, like very interesting, like freewheeling, just like subversive story that is clearly like having a lot of fun with pushing parody law to its breaking point.
Nice. Love that.
And there's a lot of like the effects in the movie are all like clearly, crowdfunded, homemade, like not Hollywood standard, but like partially in an intentionally funny way, but always with just the right amount of like people were really trying to make this good, that it doesn't feel like cheap. I don't know how to describe it exactly. I don't think it 100% worked for me at certain points and with certain jokes and like choices and humor, but I also feel like if it did 100% work for me and who I am, like that would mean it was bad at what it was trying to do.
Okay.
So I was very fascinated by it. I really quite enjoyed it, and I would definitely, if you are able to see it, I think that you should, because it is worth watching. What about you, Nando? Unless you guys have questions about the People's Joker.
I'm just looking at the trailers. This movie looks like something that I would like. I just not like to see. And look, it has that Adult Swim thing. It's just so unsettling. And I know exactly what, like, when you were describing it, like, oh man, but it sounds cool. I mean, like the cast list is also pretty crazy. It's got Tim Heidecker, Scott Aukerman, Maria Bamford, Bob Odenkirk in small roles, but still, like, they're pretty cool.
Those are all mostly like little cameos. Like the main actors are Vera Drew and other small time creators.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely not a movie for everybody, and like very purposefully so. So like you might not like it, but I think it is worth, if you have any curiosity, I think it is worth seeking out and supporting, just because it is this like really weird, like little indie thing.
It's wild.
But yeah, what about you, Nando?
So I've got 3 things real quick. The first one is more X-Men. X-Men's still great show. DJ should watch it. But he's busy watching Planet of the Apes instead. So hey, that's what you know, priorities.
Watching Delicious in Dungeon,
and now that Food Wars one that I said. Now that is something that is still going. Something that just ended. Curb finale was this week. I liked it. Still liked it. Curb's good. Curb's great. Like, you know, one of the great TV comedies. So the finale is like silly excuse me. It's silly in a lot of ways that I don't think like it's, I don't know. No, it's great. I liked it. I think Curb is great. But then my main thing is the Fallout show. I watched the first episode of that and it's pretty good. I think it does a lot of work with characters that aren't the main character, and I'm not as into them. The main character's from the Vault, and I think she's the most interesting one. Some of the Vault stuff is pretty fun. Like, I almost wish the show just took place in the Vault, but just because it's so strange. But Walter Goggins is cool, and I do think like the first 5-10 minutes of the first episode, because that's all I've watched so far is the first episode, but like that really gives you a sense for like what this is, and like it's very, I don't know, it's surprisingly human. I'm not really on board with because there's a guy from the whatchamacallums, what are they called? The Brotherhood of Steel. I think that story really isn't, it's not like it's not going anywhere because it just started, but like as opposed to the Fault one, I'm like, I don't know what we're doing with this guy besides just these are the main things. Like, of course you would put one of them in there, but
that's, you saying that is already a huge warning flag for me not liking this show.
Big red flag.
Well, I mean, they're the main things in the sense that like they're on the boxes. So
no, yeah,
right. But I'm saying,
box art,
I'm saying like if the writers of the show were like, we got to put a Brotherhood of Steel paladin in because they're the thing on the box art. That's like, there's interesting things you can do with that, but I don't know.
I mean, we'll see, but. Just in terms of like, I don't know. Yeah. I think it's pretty cool. And the parts of it that are weird are cool. Matt Berry's in it apparently. Can't wait for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I do see that the main lady is Ella Purnell, who I like in Yellow Jackets.
And she is Jinx in the show of League of Legends.
Never watched.
Yeah, which is great too, which you should also watch.
I've heard, yeah. And Kyle MacLachlan plays her father.
He does play her father.
Also kind of, I'll give it a chance, but I reserve the right to be a weird curmudgeon about this.
How dare you?
As you should.
Yeah, I had a good time with it so far, and I'm definitely gonna finish it. But like, I'm just curious what it's up to. So we will find out soon. But that is my one recommendation. That's like a new thing. What do we do next week?
Good question. Oh, I have to update the tournament.
Oh yeah.
We know who the winner for the men's is. The winner is Babylon.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Babylon. I will admit I was rooting for Ladybug Cat Noir, but that is not in the cards. It will be Babylon. So
cool.
Never thought I'd watch Babylon twice.
I never watched it once, so I'm excited to see it once. It'd be great.
Yeah, I mean,
I will say
first for me.
For you two, for the first time watch, I think there's some interesting stuff in there. I don't think it's enough for me to be excited about going back.
I get that.
Fair. But that's all the updates that I have.
What about the women's bracket?
So that was last week. I think I'd mentioned that Diggins won. So he will torture us. Can't wait.
Yeah,
so we could do that next week, Diggins, if you want to just show our naked preference for when I mean, you didn't even win the bracket.
I didn't. Yeah,
the war.
I did enter brackets, and they did very badly because I just hit the random button.
Yeah. So, but you get to reap the reward from a generous listener
yes.
who I still haven't figured out who it is.
Whoever you are, you brave soul, you Cadillac of people. I thank you for your service and your sacrifice. Know that it shall not be squandered.
We'll see.
Yeah, so I guess we'll have to figure out what to do next week. If you have thoughts, put them in the Discord. How you get there, I don't know. No one knows.
Yeah, we'll find out. Maybe sometime.
You might have to use a monkey's paw or a wish from a genie.
You have to go through a big wormhole in space that's a magnetic storm or whatever.
But make sure you don't take that monkey's paw from a intelligent talking monkey.
Yeah.
Because that would be unethical.
If he shake its paw while it still has his hand and then it uses its paw to type something onto your keyboard, then that might help.
It's a good point. We never said the monkey's paw had to be detached.
No, never.
That's true.
I wouldn't recommend it personally. As someone who has never had a monkey's paw, but I'm like, I think I'd want it attached. Well, I don't know about that at all. But definitely for Discord information, that would be helpful. DJ, do you have anything to plug?
Yeah, just Roses and Rejections. I think I mentioned this last time, but I did Traitors season 2, episodes 1 through 6. I love the show. It's so good. I ranked it last week, but it's like our addiction right now. I'm probably gonna go all in and watch all of them. I'm gonna like Nando did with Taskmaster. I'm gonna watch the UK Traitors. I'm gonna watch the Australian Traitors. It's just all as much Traitors content as I can get because the show is fantastic. So check out our pod, Roses and Rejections, where we talk about that, and then Michelle gives some more takes on this season of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Cool.
So I haven't been watching, but she has.
Diggins, what about you? Do you have anything to plug?
Yeah. So for what is almost certainly next Friday, by the time you're listening to this, the boys and I will be doing a live stream to raise aid for Heal Palestine, an organization that, in addition to immediate humanitarian aid for Palestinians currently suffering because of the war in Gaza, it also seeks to create educational opportunities, healthcare, and other sort of ways to improve the long-term living standard for Palestinian children. We'll be doing so by live streaming us watching Theodore Rex, an infamously terrible movie where Whoopi Goldberg is a buddy cop with a dinosaur. We will be doing that, like I said, next Friday. That's April 19th at a time. Any thoughts?
I don't know. Like
Says
6 or 7 or something like that. Yeah.
Eastern, 7, 8 Eastern.
Probably 7, maybe 8. We'll find out. We'll all find out together.
Yeah.
I promise you it's not earlier than 7 Eastern.
Yes.
That is a promise I can make.
Yes. Definitely not earlier than 7 Eastern. Probably not later than 8 Eastern.
7:26 Eastern. See you all there.
The important thing is that
we all remember. Yeah, go ahead, Diggins.
You can show up, watch the movie with us, by which I mean watch it along by yourself. We'll have a timer up that you can sync to and watch with us because that's the way we can legally do this. And donate some money. We'll be talking along. We'll probably chat afterwards, maybe do some IMDb stuff. Who knows? It'll be really fun. From everything I've heard, this movie's completely buck wild.
Yeah.
And what I was going to say is we all know that we had no technical difficulties the last time we did this.
Either of the two times we've done this.
Right, either of the 2 times. There were so many. And I've actually gotten a pitch for how we should do the IMDb game, which I think is interesting. It would involve all 3 of us doing it, and maybe then an outside moderator. Maybe a Michelle of some kind, picking a winner between the 3 of us, and then the 3 of us could do the name game. I don't know how deep Theodore Rex goes, but
I think it's going to be Whoopi Goldberg and no one else.
Yeah, we can't even use Ed, that movie Ed, because that's her name in it. So I got to think of another movie she's in. Anybody know her name in Sister Act?
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
Don't know her name in Ghost either.
Don't know her name in Ghost. I feel like she's in more movies than you'd expect, but like not that many.
It's gonna be a short game, is what we're finding out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's in The New Color Purple. That's right.
We could also do a name game for some movies we previously did. I don't know. We'll figure this out.
Yeah.
And have
anyway, that's my plug. What about you, Nando?
Oh yeah, just videos. Recent ones are the one that I did that was about excuse me, the X-Men show. That's great, and why it's great. Nothing too controversial there. And then the other thing I have a video on is I put out another like history of a Snap character kind of, which is a really crazy way to say that. But like, yeah, it did the US Agent one. A couple people, because I post these in the subreddit too. At least one person was like, I didn't even know. I thought this guy was just a bad guy or something. So, you know, sometimes it's good for people to learn who some of these characters are. But yeah, that's all on my Nando Cut channel.
And that comment was about Paul Giamatti's slave trader orangutan.
No.
They were like, I heard slave trader and thought he was a bad guy, but it turns out he's a good guy.
He is a good guy because he gave those kids aspirin for money. He told them, he said, who wants aspirin, kids? And the kids went, me. They don't know what aspirin is. He doesn't know what aspirin is. What is it?
It's true.
I don't understand that scene at all.
The thing. That was Paul Giamatti, like definitely just
yeah, oh for sure.
Just doing some improv.
Maybe
like, I'm gonna aspirin.
Yeah, maybe the line was like, who wants pills or something, but that's a little weird. But aspirin makes the pills less, I don't know, serious. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are fun. I guess I'll do one on Red Guardian next. Gotta figure out what his deal is.
Yeah.
He was in that movie.
He is in that movie. And he's gonna be in that new Thunderbolts ? Exclamation point movie or whatever we're saying. Thunderbolts.
I know this is far in the future, but maybe in 2 months' time now, I'll be like, oh, I can't wait for this. I cannot wait for your Arishem video.
Yeah, a lot of it.
Can't wait for the Arishem video.
I mean, listen, I've read a fair amount of Eternals comics just because there's not that many. So, you know, I'll do it. I will do it, and it'll be great.
You get a whole season of Eternals. How excited are you?
I know. I'm getting a whole season of Eternals and like individual cards of guys like Gilgamesh, where it's like he's the spotlight or he's the season pass card. That guy's got nothing. I mean, maybe there's lots and lots of Gilgamesh stuff going on, but like I don't even think he's usually a normal member of the team. He's like a guy who they call sometimes. So I don't know. It's gonna be weird.
Those videos are gonna be fun.
We got Exiles before that, and Exiles is cool. So
yeah,
we'll do that. But yeah, so next week a movie. We'll figure out what it is, and we'll tell you probably in the Discord. You try to find it, you can't. It's secret. Until then,
if you solve our riddles,
yes. Until then, I've been at Nando Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.